Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy BBO Boxer, back with another video. And we back, man. We got my man, the Puerto Rican Prince, and we got my man Rico, man. My sergeant at arms, my man Prize. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling?
You know.
We're good.
Agree, what's
And
poppin'?
we talking some boxing today, man. I wanted to know, what do you guys think about what's going on in boxing, man? We hearing a lot of big fights. Deontay Wilder's coming back. We got Buntry coming back. You got Canelo coming back. I'm just wondering, man, what's going on? And one thing I'm kind of wondering about, what's going on with everybody trying to tear down Tank Davis? What's that all about? Let's start with that. Why is everybody trying to tear down Tank?
Haters. They're mad because that young man doing his own thing, and he's not joining the alliance and Turkey and following suit like everybody else is.
I say they hate him because, you know, how he is. You know, he does people want to see him fight the best, you know. So they're gonna criticize him, they're gonna start looking at his hair, they're gonna start looking at his clothes and his tattoos and, you know, all this weird stuff. But I get it, you know. I want to see him fight too, man. And I know he's the good. So I want to see him, you know, have to go in his tool bag and pull out the drill and the, you know what I'm saying? And the sawzall and all that. So I get it. But I stay in the middle because I support my American brothers, especially the urban American brothers. And I feel like he get the hate, but you know, he light skinned it, he act light skinned it, and you know, he does stuff. He, you know, they talk about his nails and his clothes and stuff. Nothing to do with boxing. So I kind of agree with D Free is hate, but on the flip side, I do want to see him in there with some, you know, competitive people. But then they say, well, Tank won't fight nobody that's a 50-50 fight. Well, there is no 50-50 fight for Tank. There is none. He got to do something goofy to make it he got to go to welterweight to make it a 50-50 fight. If he stays at 35 and be the greatest of all time at 35, then just deal with it. You know, he's a young kid that came from nothing and he made it. We should celebrate that. So, but at the end of the day, they hate on him because of various reasons. You know, they want to see him fight the best, and he hasn't really done that. So they're gonna hate there, but he's fought some decent guys though, you know. So, but I feel like that they hate on him because, you know, they just want to see him fight the best. And if he go out there and smoke a couple of these ones that they want to see him fight, then all that noise will still be happening, but it'll tone down a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the noise or if it's because he's unlikable. But I did hear something else that he said. I wanted to get you guys' opinion on. So now Tank is, who called Devin Haney everything but a child of God for suing, is threatening to sue YouTubers, the people who helped make him millions of dollars. What do you think about him saying he's going to start suing YouTubers?
I saw that, but that was
Who said they're gonna start suing YouTubers?
It was one particular guy
Tank
he was
Davis.
going at though. He didn't make it. Let's not make it like he was going to sue the boxing community. It was like one or two channels. I think it was one guy he was going at on that one. So I looked into it because I said the same thing. I'm like, damn, he about to sue us? That's crazy. Because Devin, they crucified Devin when he started suing. But when Tank said he was going to sue somebody, nobody said nothing about it. You know what I mean? But I think it was like a grudge that he had with another channel. I'm not going to say the channel name, but that's their business, not ours.
I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, I didn't see nothing about that, so I don't really know what was the reason why he said it. But if it's something that's bringing his character down or bringing his value down is like defamation of character, stuff like that. It is a lawsuit. That's how you handle that. The defamation of character, the way you handle it is by suing. I mean, he's licensed as a fighter. He can't go out there and beat him up. So he can't get him in the ring. So the only way he can go about doing it the right way is by suing him. Now, when it came to Devin Haney, people got on Devin Haney about the lawsuit because you were suing another fighter for battery or whatever, and it just
he cheated.
I mean, but he not suing about the cheating. He's suing for battery.
Well, that's part of this. That's part of cheating. You battered me because you cheated. Because you assaulted and battered me.
No, that wasn't assault battery. That was not assault battery. It was not assault battery. But that's the difference between the two. Like Devin Haney can actually get that fighter in the ring. Tank Davis can't get that opponent in the ring or get that person in the ring.
YouTuber.
He's not a fighter, so he can't get him in the ring. So the only way he can do it the right way, you don't want him just going out here beating up people on the streets. You want him to do it the right way. The only way he can do it the right way is suing. Like I said, I don't know what the lawsuit, what was it about, but I'm only going.
He didn't sue it. He just said it. He just said it. He didn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going off of speculation because I didn't even see the whole situation. But I'm saying if it's a defamation of character, that's the way he's supposed to go about it because he can't get the person in the ring. He can only thing he can do is what he's going to send some boys after him. Only way he can do it the right way is by suing them. So I don't know.
And the right way to try to stop drug cheats is to sue. It's business. You don't gotta be from the streets to be the face of boxing or a world champion, or you don't have to be everything. That's what's wrong with this generation. Everybody try to act so freaking tough. You don't gotta be tough to be an NBA superstar. You don't gotta be tough to be I know it sounds crazy as it sounds. You don't gotta be from the hood to be one of the best boxers, bro. You don't.
And I don't think that's the case either. That's a good point.
And then Devin,
let me do this real quick.
Go ahead,
Shout out to my man B3 coming through, man.
Yeah, usually B3. What's up?
You don't like to hang out with the brothers, but B3, I'm gonna ask you this, man.
B3
what do you think about all the hate that Devin Haney and Tank have been getting this last couple of months? What you think about all that, man?
Man, salute to the doghouse, man. What up, Prize, D-Free, shout out BVO. At the end of the day, man, we know what time it is. When you great, they gonna hate. So ultimately, I know people probably not even gonna like a Jose Ramirez matchup for Devin, or a Lamont Roach, who's ultimately somewhat of a decorated amateur and a world champion currently. So I mean, these guys, they damn if they do, damn if they don't. So ultimately, they just got to keep beating who they put in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, whoever doesn't like the Jose Ramirez fight for Devin Haney, they clearly don't know anything about boxing, because that's a great matchup for Devin Haney, especially if you plan on getting back in the ring with Ryan Garcia. He's a person who's a come forward fighter. He doesn't have a lot of movements, similar to Ryan Garcia. He got a decent punch, similar to Ryan Garcia. That's a great opponent, but he's not too dangerous where Devin can't maneuver around the ring and be able to outbox him, so it can get Devin confidence back up. That's a great opponent for Devin. The only problem I have with it is that it's at a catch weight. These guys should. Me personally, I think either you should fight at 140 or fight at 147, because they're saying after this fight, the Ryan rematch is going to be at 144. So I'm like, just fight at 147. That's where you're going at next. You're not coming back to 140. You're going to 147. So just go to 147. You're not fighting anybody that's at 147. You're fighting guys who's moving up from 140 the same time you're moving up. So just fight at 147. That's the only problem I have with it. But as far as the opponent, that's a great opponent for Devin Haney.
Yeah, I agree, Free. I think it's a good opponent. I think also the 144, I think that's kind of like a way to quote unquote, you know how Canelo got a lot of attention for when he used to fight at catch weights. So that's one thing. A catch weight is kind of a something that you can kind of pay attention to. But ultimately, I think it's due to not wanting to fully commit to 147 because once you there, you can't just be isolated with a Ryan Garcia name at a catch weight because y'all the only ones doing catch weights. You gotta once you at 47, you gotta put your name in there with Norman Jr., Boots, Stanionis, Barrios. So you got to be able to make that commitment. Now, me personally, I would have liked for Turkey to be able to secure Devin the Barrios fight.
Yeah.
Do y'all think that would be a little too tough, or do y'all think that would be? Because I think Barrios is orthodox as well. I thought that would have been a good matchup. I think Devin should have been able to. If y'all don't think that's too much, or if this team don't think that was too much of a risk fighting Barrios
I
over Ramirez.
I think it would be more of a risk fighting Barrios over Ramirez because of the weight. I think Barrios he's already acclimated at 147. So when they come into the ring, Barrios probably going to be somewhere around 160, 170. Devin Haney, he never fought at that weight class. So he's got to get acclimated at that weight class. So I think it will be a risky fight fighting somebody who's already at 47. That's why I said, I mean, even though what you said is true, his name will be in the bag with all those guys. He ain't got to fight those guys. He's the A side to all of those guys outside of maybe he's the A side of Jerron too. He's the A side to those guys. So Jerron ain't looking to fight Devin Haney. He's looking to fight another champion. So Jerron ain't gonna call him out. Brian Norman would, but Devin Haney is the A side of Brian Norman. Devin Haney will be the one sending him an offer, not Brian Norman sending Devin Haney an offer. So even though he's at 147, he still makes the calls for everybody at 147 right now. He's the A side of those guys. None of those guys
Think
ever
so?
fought on. Yeah, none of those guys ever fought on pay-per-view. None of them. They
None
fought on the undercard of a pay-per-view, but they was never a headline of a pay-per-view. Devin Haney's been a headliner of 3 pay-per-views now. And it's probably going on 4 with the Ramirez fight. So he's the A side of those guys. They might be the champion, but he's the A side of those guys.
Devin is the A side of anybody named not Tank Davis.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say
Ryan.
Yeah,
It's gonna be Tank and Ryan. We got to
Yeah.
put Ryan in there.
Yeah, Ryan.
Okay,
Ryan,
that's fine.
yeah, Ryan.
But
Will
let me
be
ask
the A
y'all.
side of the Devin.
But hold on, let me do this before you ask the question. So let me ask you this one. Now we see Ryan's probably gonna fight Teal. Does this put him in a special place that he's almost fought all the 4 kings? What do you guys think?
I don't know if they're fighting because
Yeah,
they keep saying it could be T.O. next. I keep hearing Pitbull, so I don't know who he's fighting next. They haven't made it known exactly who. They said there's a possibility because what I heard was Devin was going to fight Ramirez and Ryan was going to fight Pitbull, and then the winner of that fight was going to fight T.O. That's what I heard. So I don't know exactly what's going on. So until they say only person I know who's actually fighting is Ramirez and Devin. Until they say that T.O. and Ryan
That fight signed and sealed free. Ramirez and Devin, that's sealed. That's ready to go.
I don't know.
I don't know, but also keep in mind this. Another caveat to this: we finally might be getting Deontay the Bronx Bomber Wilder against AJ Anthony Joshua. Man, what you guys think about that? That's another monkey. That's another monkey wrench in there.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. To say it right now.
Well, we established we're a talk show, man. So
Well,
I mean,
we'll skip over you then. What you think, B3?
I'll watch it. I'll watch it, but I really don't care to see it. I mean,
I watched Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. So I mean, I'm definitely not going to shit on a fight that is past his prime, but these are still 2 formidable guys. Granted that they definitely fought at the top level and got stopped last year. I mean, that don't take away from the fact that this is AJ and Wilder, 2 of the biggest names in the sport of boxing.
Yes, it does. You
I
obviously
was hoping he would fight Andy
Wilder.
Ruiz.
Wilder looked terrible.
Who?
Wilder looked
AJ?
terrible in his last
Yeah,
two
I was
fights.
looking for him to fight Andy Ruiz again, but I guess
Not
they
me.
want that trilogy.
Oh, you talking about AJ? I'm talking about
Well,
Yeah,
Wilder. I
I
don't
was
want to
hoping
see
to get
Wilder.
the Andy Ruiz trilogy, but
Ruiz ain't earned that.
No,
go ahead.
nobody care about Andy Louise.
Right.
Nobody's
He's
checking for
well.
him.
He's a myth. He fought tooth and nail with Areola.
What Andy Louise need to do is go back and fight Big Baby Miller. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah,
He need to
and
go
Big
back and
Baby
fight
Miller
Big
was
Miller.
putting it on him too. That's right. I forgot about that, Free.
Yeah, he need to go back and fight him. Nobody care about what Andy is doing right now. But nah, like I said, this fight lost so much steam because Wilder don't even look like even half of what he once was. He's a shell of himself right now. From the last two fights that I seen of Wilder, I told you after the
He
first
didn't
one,
look
I said,
good.
after the first one, I said, dog, Wilder might be done. And then when I saw the last one, I was like, yeah, he's completely done. He's done. That is not the same Wilder that's like what we saw with Earl. If Earl comes back and look exactly the same way he looked when he fought Bud Crawford, I'm like, okay, he's done. I don't want to see him no more. He's done.
So what you saying? So what you saying is AJ was? You think AJ will really stop Wilder?
I think he will.
Career,
at this point in his career, I think AJ will stop Wilder.
Yeah,
literally,
Wilder almost 40 years old, ain't he?
Yeah, he's 38. He's 38.
Yeah, he's old, man.
He's done. But he had 2 wars with Luis Ortiz. He had those wars with Fury, man.
That man had 5 wars. He has 5 wars. You count the 2 with Luis and the 3 with Tyson Fury. That's 5. AJ ain't never been in a war like that. He ain't never been in a war like that. I mean, he got knocked down multiple times, but he wasn't in no war. Like he wasn't. That
Klitschko fight was pretty tough.
Yeah, the Klitschko fight was damn sure tough. Yeah,
it
but I feel you though, Free. You're right. That ain't nothing like that Wilder Fury.
Every time AJ got touched on the chin, he went down. It wasn't no war. He just got touched on the chin. He went down.
Every time he got touched,
he got bop. All right, let me get back up. Every time he got touched on the chin, he went down. That wasn't no war. Now Wilder wasn't going down. He wasn't trying to go down. Especially that second fight. He's like, man, he's not knocking me down. I don't care how many times he hit me. He ain't knocking me down.
Let me give you a little kickback on the Joshua fight, right? So Wilder, we know he didn't look good against Parker, but Parker could be a tough style matchup for a lot of guys, right? And then of course we know what Fury and Big Bang Zhang did to Wilder. But I just want to say that those matchups, Wilder was outmatched by 40 to 50 pounds each with Fury and Zhang. So with AJ, AJ maybe he's not gonna be as big as those guys against Wilder. And ultimately, if he can catch AJ on the chin, I mean, AJ chin ain't AJ chin pretty suspect.
No,
so I think it's still worth watching. Free.
No, I said I would watch it.
We're gonna watch it. I don't want to see it, but I'm gonna watch it.
I don't care to see it, but I will watch it. As long as Wilder get in the ring, I'm gonna support him because I rock with him as a man. I'm gonna support him.
Well, let me ask you. Let me flip it to you. Let me ask you this.
Thanks.
What about would you prefer tune up Curtis Harper before AJ or go right into the AJ?
I don't prefer to see Wilder at all in I don't want to see how. I think because of what I see of Wilder right now, he's a shell of himself. I honestly believe if he goes in there with somebody like an AJ and he gets hit the wrong way, he can really damage himself.
Yeah, and both of them too, Free.
Yeah,
AJ didn't look too good himself.
AJ didn't look too good, but AJ is a younger fighter, and like B3 said, all Wilder got to do is touch him on the chin. He'll go to sleep. The problem with that is Wilder don't throw straight shots no more.
Right.
No, he don't throw straight shots.
Everything is looping.
Yeah, you're right. Everything is looping. Like, why is it? And people want to blame Malik Scott. I mean, I even criticize Malik Scott, but I don't think it's that.
Real quick, Teach just said he saw out of Ryan's mouth himself. He's fighting Pitbull.
Damn.
Okay, well,
Well,
I
he can
think
beat
that's
him
I
up.
think
Pitbull ain't nobody. What has he ever done?
well
No,
no
Pitbull.
well
They
he
both
he
tune-up
beat Rolly
fights.
for a title.
He
They
what?
He
he
beat
beat
Rolly
Rolly.
for he stopped Rolly for a
Who?
belt.
No, but see the
Who did he
thing
beat
is,
for about who?
The
no,
Cuban
see the
guy, the
thing is,
Cuban kid Rolly Romero.
it's not about who Pitbull is. The
What
the
did he
the,
do?
it's not about what did he do. It's not about who he is.
The name.
The thing is, they need a tune-up fight before they fight each other because they
Yeah.
both going to be out of the ring for a year. So they get in a tune-up fight before they fight each other. So that's the reason why
And Pitbull's
Devin is
not a
fighting.
big risk for Ryan.
Yeah, Pitbull is not a big risk for Ryan. He might not be able to upset the apple cart, and they banking on the fact that Devin can outbox Jose Ramirez. If
Yeah, he
Devin can,
can.
because Jose Ramirez just got outboxed by Andre
Kevin?
Barbosa. He
I
just
mean,
got
Barbosa. Yeah.
Aaron Barbosa. He just got outboxed by Aaron Barbosa. So if Devin can go in there and outbox Ramirez, and Ryan can go in there and get the cobwebs off against Pitbull, because it's not going to be an easy fight. Pitbull going to come straight forward, but Pitbull doesn't have any head movement, anything like that.
Nothing.
So
He has nothing, Free.
right. So if he can get the cobwebs off, it's a tune-up fight for both of them, for both of the individuals. So it's not about who the opponent is or how good the opponent is. It's just a fact of it's a tune-up for them. It's like a lot of people look, they read into their, oh, why he fighting it? You have to look at the fact that it's a tune-up. It's not the fact that it's a big name or anything like that. It's a tune-up for the actual fight that we want to see, which is the rematch of Ryan and Devin.
I'll tell you this. I'm starting not to want to see that fight. You guys still want to see that fight?
You don't want to see it because you think Ryan gonna get beat.
You said I think Ryan will get beat. I don't think so. I think Devin gets stopped in that fight.
No, I want to see. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I want to see it. I don't care if Devin win. I don't care if Ryan win. I want to see, because if they both come in there and they both on the up and up, and there's no funny games being done, we have a clear winner. Right now, we don't have a winner. It was it was a no contest. Ryan did what he did. Devin didn't look right. He fought the wrong game plan. We don't have a clear winner. If Ryan wouldn't have did what he did and Devin fought the wrong game plan, it would have been a clear winner. Ryan won the fight.
Right.
But he didn't. So
He cheated.
now.
Well, not only that, he purposely missed weight, Free.
And he
Yeah,
missed weight.
I'm not even worried about the weight because Devin
He got paid
took
for that, man. I don't know
He
why
took
y'all
that.
still bringing that
Yeah,
up.
I don't
Well,
I'm
he
care
bringing
about
it.
the
I'm
weight.
bringing
cheated.
it up because it impacted the fight. Is what I'm saying.
No, it didn't impact the fight because if it
Definitely
impacted the fight,
impacted the
If
fight.
it,
Devin
if the
should have
little
took it.
if the billionth of a gram of Osharine didn't impact the fight,
No,
then the weight hold on and the weight didn't, and then the purposely missing weight didn't
no.
impact the fight, then ultimately it's no point of the rematch, like BVO said.
You making excuses that Devin didn't make. Devin didn't make no excuses about the weight. He made the
What I'm
excuse
telling you,
about
Free, is
the
that
cheating. He made the
what I'm
excuse about
telling you is
I don't care what you're talking about. I'm talking about what the fighter said. He didn't make no excuses
I'm
about
talking
the
what the
weight.
fighter said.
He didn't make no
And
but
excuses
it's
Free,
about the
common
weight.
but it's common sense
hey
that
Free, I want to bring some. I want to run
it's
something
common
by
sense
you,
though.
man.
No, you can't sit here and take the money and then complain about the daggone weight. If you didn't want the weight, you should have
No,
took the money.
I'm talking about what happened in the fight. I'm
No,
talking about how one fighter felt and performed in the fight
no,
based on what they did,
people
based on
fight.
what they took, based on whatever the supplements they took, and based on purposely missing the weight. So your opponent drained himself to a weight that you ain't have to drain yourself to.
I
You
don't.
had an
Okay, but
advantage.
I'm not
That's what
talking
you
about the
call an
weight.
advantage.
I'm not talking about the weight though. I'm talking about the drug cheat. The drug cheat. So if we could eliminate the drug cheat, and there's no, like I said, there's no funny business, we can have a clear winner. That's the only reason why I want to see the fight. I care less who wins the fight. I want to see a clear winner. I don't care about. I don't want nobody got cheated. Nobody failed a drug test or none of that. I want a clear winner. So whoever wins the fight, they get the credit. If Ryan wins the fight in the rematch, he'll get the credit. If everything is on the up and up. If
Did
Devin
Ryan
wins
agree to
them,
Vada?
yes, he did. That's why they
Yeah,
having the
they
fight.
said he did. Yeah, they said he
That's
did.
why they having a fight. That's why Devin dropped the lawsuit, because Ryan agreed to Vada. Devin dropped the lawsuit. That's the only reason why the fight is happening, because Ryan said, "You dropped the lawsuit. I agree to Vada." They did it. So
Let's
yeah,
let's
Man,
just hope.
real quick. Shout out to the sponsor, man, Raycon. Y'all go check out RayconGlobal.com. One time for the one time.
yeah.
Oh,
Type
So
in BBO45. You get your
I
little
want to,
discount.
like
You know
I
what I
said,
mean?
I don't care who. When I want to give the credit to whoever it deserved to be given to, but right now I can't give the credit to nobody because it was a no contest.
yeah. But I'm gonna ask you guys something that somebody ran by me earlier. Do you think that Canelo Alvarez is the best name as far as talent on Floyd Mayweather's record, or do you guys still go with Manny Pacquiao, even though that was a horrible fight?
No, I don't even think Manny Pacquiao is the best name far as talent. I think Zab Judah or Shane Mosley. I think Zab Judah. I think Zab Judah is the best talent that Floyd has faced. Talent, solely off of talent. Zab Judah. The only it was a lot of people that thought Zab Judah could have beat Floyd. The only problem with Zab Judah was
You get tired.
his mental.
And you get tired too.
So
No,
are we gonna sit? Are we gonna say? Hold on.
Zab
Hold
was
on.
he was a front runner back then.
No,
Bro,
it
are we
had nothing to do
forgetting
with
that Floyd fought De La Hoya?
De La
was a
Hoya
good
is
one.
What
not.
we talking about? We talking about the gold medalist
Dog,
with the clean with
I understand all that,
The
but
face of boxing at the time.
I understand all that.
Come on,
He's
bro.
not more talented than Zab Judah.
With
He
the
might be
jab
a
with
I don't know
what
about that.
Floyd
That's
seen
debatable.
in the corner with the
dog.
jab. She
He might have been a gold medalist. That's fine and dandy, but that doesn't mean he's more talented.
was he a 5 division world champion?
It does not mean he's more talented.
Okay.
No,
I'm
you
just
can
saying.
I
you
think
can
Zab was more athletic than Oscar, but I don't. That's
He's
not.
more
That's
Yeah, that's what I'm
debatable,
talented.
free.
saying. Yeah,
That's
I wouldn't say
debatable.
I
That's
wouldn't say he's
debatable,
more
free. To be
talented than Oscar
talented
No,
De La
than
Hoya
Oscar.
though.
That's debatable, free.
Oh, so you telling me
Yeah,
that
talent.
Oscar De La Hoya has better boxing skills than Zab Judah?
Yeah.
No, he does not. No, he does not. You don't even know what boxing
Yes.
skills is if you say that Oscar De La Hoya has better
A
boxing
prime
skills than
Oscar
Zab
with the
Judah.
left hook.
If you say that Oscar De La Hoya has is better skillfully a boxer than Zab Judah, you don't know about boxing, dog.
I thought Zab was a lot more athletic than Oscar,
Zab
but
got his ass whipped by Cotto, man. I'm not.
and
Man,
Coto's a good fighter. Hold on, we don't want to
hold on.
discredit Cotto.
It was.
What are
I ain't trying to say it like
Yeah,
that,
he
but
was good. He was good, but
let's
bro,
not act like Zab didn't get his ass whooped by a lot of people.
No, just because you get beat does not mean that you're not talented.
But you comparing him to the
people.
We comparing him to the golden boy. You acting like
so you
we
saying
comparing him
Muhammad
to the
Ali
golden
wasn't
boy.
talented? Muhammad Ali got beat a lot of times. He not talented?
We talking about Zab and the golden boy. You bringing up a
we
heavyweight.
talking about talent. We're talking about
talent.
we
talking about somebody's talent that took them to a gold medal.
Dog,
what are you talking about, bro?
Dog,
and dominated the sport and became the face of boxing.
Listen.
What are we talking about?
You going off?
You acting like it's not a debate.
Dog, you going off of accolades.
It's a 100% debate.
Listen what I'm saying. You going off?
Yeah,
of
definitely
accolades.
is a debate.
Yeah, if somebody like Zab Judah, you might like Zab Judah's style.
Zab is athletic, but I don't necessarily.
I thought his style
was hold up. Listen. So do Oscar De La Hoya has better footwork than Zab Judah?
Say that again.
Do Oscar De La Hoya have better footwork than Zab Judah?
That's debatable. That's debatable.
He's a black fighter. He's a black fighter. I would say yeah.
I probably would say yeah too, B3. I probably would say yes. Okay, so yes, D3, yes.
Hold up.
Yes, next.
Hold up.
Yes, next.
Hold up. Oscar De La Hoya has better footwork than Zab Judah?
No. We didn't say that.
No.
I just asked you that.
Nah,
you said,
okay, and I said it's debatable, but I'll say no.
Nah,
but it's debatable.
No, it's not even close. It's not even close, dog. Oscar De La Hoya has no footwork. He trips over his foot all the time. Oscar De La Hoya has no footwork. What are you talking about? That's not even a debate. He has no footwork. Now, when we come to boxing ability, Oscar De La Hoya is not a better boxer. He might be a better fighter. He's not a better boxer than Zab Judah.
That's debatable.
Better fighter.
That's debatable.
He's not a better boxer.
That's
debatable. Hey, BBO, what was the original question? More talented fighter, boxer? I mean, did you say fighter or boxer? I don't. So we can get a distinction.
He said, "What's the?"
I said, who was the basically what I hold on? Let me say this. But I basically was saying who was the most
Yo,
talented guy Floyd
kick.
fought.
What is
Hold
this
on one
guy?
second.
Kick him
I
out of my.
think
Get him out of here in the chat. You moderators, moderate this chat. What is this dude talking about?
Ain't
White
nobody.
power. Get him out. I want him gone.
I ain't even got my phone with me. But
What is he talking about, bro? What are you talking about, bro? Go ahead,
I don't know.
BBO.
I'm not even worried about that.
No, what I was saying is this, man. That's what we was telling you before. Don't encourage that goofy stuff. Prize, keep going. What I'll say is this: when you're talking about who Floyd fought that was the most talented, I honestly don't think it was Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao looked like dog crap that fight. I'm starting to wonder, was it Canelo? But who would you say on Floyd's great resume is the best fighter he fought? I'm starting to say it's Canelo. Who
They
would you
beat
guys
Cotto.
say?
Cotto rumbled him. Diego Corrales. There's a couple dudes. He's debatable.
Are we saying? Are we saying when Floyd fought them? Who did Floyd fight when they was at their best? Because that's a different question. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
just who was
Because
the best fighter he fought? Because he pretty much fought everybody at their best.
I mean,
That's
right
hard to
now,
say.
I think Canelo is the greatest. I think Canelo's the greatest Latino fighter in my opinion. That I've seen. Based on what he's accomplished in the sport. Now, he might be on his kind of what you would call cherry picking era. But I mean, just he. Well, my bad. That was disrespectful to Roberto Duran.
No,
Roberto Duran is still number one. Then I got Canelo.
well,
But
the original question that BBO asked, he said, was Canelo the best? Was the most talented fighter that the most talented name that Floyd has fought? That's what he had. That was the original question. Was
yeah,
Canelo
most
the most
talent.
talented name that he has fought?
Nah, I mean, yeah, we went all around the merry-go-round with the Zab Zuda jump. I think Zab Judah is hella talented. Free. So when you say boxing, I would agree with you. I just think Oscar got an argument just off of his pedigree,
Yeah,
what he
Oscar's
did in the
he's
sport.
a better fighter. He's a better fighter, but he's not a
Yeah,
better boxer. He's not a better boxer. It's not
nah,
even close.
nah.
That's like saying that they're going Canelo Alvarez is a better boxer than Floyd. He's a better
Right.
fighter
Don't
than
make
Floyd, but
sense.
he's not a better boxer than Floyd. He's a better fighter. As far as fighting, Floyd ain't gonna fight you. He's gonna box you. He's not gonna fight you. He's gonna box you. There's two different styles. There's a fighter and there's a boxer. Floyd is not gonna fight you. He's gonna box you.
So
Yeah, but but
having
they
those
do
five
say
names, those six, and let me say this, let me ask y'all this, BVO. Floyd Mayweather had the best resume? Let me just put these names out of there. He fought Zab, he fought Shane Mosley, he fought Pacquiao, he fought Canelo, he fought Oscar, he fought Cotto. Let me just give you those six right there.
Top.
Is that and we know he got a deep resume. I'm just putting them six, and we got
Yeah,
Diego
yeah.
Corrales. He got so many more, but I'm just saying those six in the modern era, those six names are known most. Does he have the best resume?
He got the best resume to anybody fought during the time that he fought. He has the best resume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody that fought during the time that he fought, he has the best resume. Because anybody that thought that they had a better resume, he already beat them. Or he did beat them. He has the best resume as far as anybody that fought during the era that he fought. He has the best resume. No, you didn't even mention guys like Ricky Hatton, Diego Corrales. You didn't mention those guys.
Castillo.
Castillo, the Madonna. You ain't mentioned those guys. No, he got
was a savage.
no, he got the best resume to anybody that fought during his era.
And a lot of people's
No
eras.
question. And Berto was considered that was considered a cherry pick.
Well, he paid another brother.
Baltimore.
Baltimore. He got $8 million
No,
from Baltimore.
Andre Berto at the end of his
Andre
career.
Berto. He paid another brother.
Yeah,
He
the
paid a
last fight.
brother. What's the problem?
Yeah, everybody
He
was
gave
mad
a brother
about that.
a
No, that
city
wasn't.
payday.
No, the problem with Andre Berto. The problem with Andre Berto.
They wanted Amir Khan.
People thought it was a cherry pick because they wanted Floyd to fight Andre Berto earlier. They didn't want him to fight Andre Berto when he did. They wanted him to fight Andre Berto earlier when Andre Berto was on top of his game. At the end of Floyd's career, Andre Berto had already had, I think, a couple of losses, and he was on a downcline. So that's the reason why people say that it was a cherry pick.
I think it was over that girl, that light skinned girl. I think they was fighting over her.
No, they wasn't fighting over no girl. They fought because people wanted Floyd to fight Andre
I
Berto.
felt like it was that girl had a lot to do with it because they was together. I think Floyd had something to do with her, and then Berto was with her, and they felt the way. That's the girl that gave Floyd when Floyd was sticking his tongue out at the crowd. Well, he was doing that to that girl, and that's why she stuck up her middle finger because I think they had something.
I mean that
I
they
think that's what
probably
that was about, a biddy.
they probably put that in as a build up for the fight, but that wasn't the reason why.
Nobody
Floyd
wanted
fought.
to see that fight when it happened. It was about that little yellow thing, and I know.
And let me,
'cause I know. You
y'all
know.
know that boxing was more big of a sport back in like the 80s and 90s. Let me ask y'all this: if Floyd, if Keith Thurman wouldn't have got the Floyd fight, or Floyd would have perceived to not have fought Keith Thurman, would he been able to do that back in the day, or would Keith Thurman been a big enough fight to them to make it happen? Let's say if Keith was his mandatory in the 80s and 90s, would they have had to make that fight?
Well, Keith was never his mandatory, but no, because Floyd was the A side. Floyd made the fight.
What I'm saying is, was there anybody, let's say, in Ray Leonard's there? Because Keith, they tried to make it seem like Keith wasn't in position, but obviously Mayweather just decided to go another direction. So he took a super.
He gave Keith an ultimatum. He said, "If you want to fight, go beat Earl Spence, and then I'll fight you." He did the same thing to Canelo. Everybody act like
but Canelo told David David and Andre to fight, and he didn't give them the fight.
But we're not talking about Canelo. We're not talking about what Canelo did. We're talking about what Floyd did. Canelo wanted to fight.
Ultimately, he didn't fight Thurman. That's my whole point.
Listen to what I'm saying. He told Canelo wanted to fight Floyd. Canelo was young. He wanted to fight Floyd. And he said, well, if you want to fight with me, go beat Austin Trout, and then I'll fight you. He went, he beat Austin Trout. Floyd fought him. Keith Thurman wanted to fight with Floyd. Floyd said, okay, go beat Earl Spence, because Earl Spence wanted that fight with Keith Thurman to unify. He said, go beat Earl Spence, and then I'll fight you. Keith Thurman said, no, I'm not fighting Earl Spence. So that he gave him an opportunity. He told you what you needed to do to get the fight. It wasn't like he lied. He said, you fought Earl Spence, I'm not gonna fight you.
At what point was Earl Spence the champion when Thurman was unified and healthy to make the fight?
When Earl Spence beat Kell Brook and he was the IBF champion.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. He might have won the belt, but that doesn't mean that he was healthy. And that was in order to make the fight, because Thurman had a lot of inactivity. But I mean, I see what you're saying.
So why would you want to fight Floyd? Floyd was the best guy. Why would you want to fight Floyd if you're not healthy and you're not?
No, he wanted to fight Floyd because they moved him through the WBA, and that's why Floyd took the super champion and dropped his belt. My whole thing is that's a whole different story than you telling somebody you got to fight another man to get a fight with me.
He didn't drop his belt. They gave him the super champion. He didn't drop his belt
because he had a mandatory that he wasn't going to fight.
Who?
So Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman wasn't his mandatory. Keith Thurman was a champion.
If Keith Thurman was not his mandatory, how did Floyd get elevated to super champion?
Because they elevated him. You don't have to have a mandatory.
Because he dropped his belt.
Dog,
they created a regular champion in Thurman.
What I'm saying, you don't have to have a mandatory for them to elevate you to a super champion. You can be. There's no mandatory for Tank Davis.
It's no reason to elevate you if there's not nobody that they're gonna make the regular.
Facts. Listen, Lee, you're not gonna elevate like that. Listen, bro, you're not gonna elevate anyone who's not there as a champ. That's like a bullshit move, bro. So what that guy just said was
what?
Well, who the hell is this boy? I never seen him.
BBO let him up. I don't know.
Yeah, I know him. I know him.
Okay, say no more.
I know him. Yeah.
Let him speak his piece then. If you know him, he cool.
Yeah, listen, bro. Listen, if you elevate it to a position, like if you're gonna have that fight, you're gonna have the resume to get elevated to that position. Listen, if you're not gonna fight, that's it.
But it's
like a one-done gig. That's dumb, bro.
to go back to your question, B3, the only way that they would have made that fight in the 80s is if they was both under Don King. That's the only way that fight would have happened. If they was under Don
That
King,
makes
Don King
sense.
would have
Facts.
made that fight.
Don
Go
King
ahead,
was the
bro.
best guy in boxing. The best guy. Like Don King is still the best guy in boxing now. Like Don King is still the best guy. So
What you think about Turkey? You think
it's
Turkey doing
like,
good for boxing?
yeah, I like him, bro. I like him. Yo, listen, bro. Listen. I like that cat, man. I got no shit. I got no shit with Turkey.
Yeah, he putting on some good fights. Who you think gonna win the Who you think gonna win the Daniel Dubois versus Joseph Parker fight?
Yeah. And I just love the fact that Turkey's putting the fights on, man. Listen, this Crawford thing that's going down with Canelo, that's gonna be some crazy shit, man. That's gonna be fucked up, man. Sorry for swearing.
Yeah,
Sorry for
yeah.
swearing, but I do think that the Crawford Canelo fight, that's gonna be insane. What's going on there? I really appreciate you guys having me on here. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
It's no
BBO,
problem.
man.
I honestly tell you this, man. When it comes to the big fights, I know we say we want to see this or we want to see that. Um, I think the thing I was thinking about was, I heard Buntry on Joe Rogan, and he said I'm just as tall as Canelo. I got a
Facts.
longer reach. I got this and that. To me, it's kind of more or less. I'm wondering why hasn't Buntry fought? It's just even more impressive that Canelo has been able to knock out people like Berlinga, beat up a guy like Jaime Mugia, beating up these guys who are way bigger than him technically. So I mean, it just goes to show you, man, all the stuff you hear about Canelo, a lot of that stuff is lies, man. We gotta show
They going
Canelo some
Do
some
you
love.
think Bud? Do you think Bud might be too technical for him? Then you think
I
Bud
think he too little.
might have the skills?
Don't you think he too little? I
Nah,
mean,
they the
I
I
same
ain't
don't
got a
think he's too
size.
problem with
little
the
because
They the
size.
same
Canelo's not a
No.
size.
big man.
I'm not talking
Canelo's
about the height, bro. They might be the same height, but you just because me and D Free might be the same height, D Free might be broader than me. You feel me? That doesn't matter, dog. Like when he get in the ring, you gonna see a super middleweight. Matter of fact, a light heavyweight coming up in that mug against maybe a junior middleweight, bro.
He gonna have to
Yeah.
be. He gonna have to be straight with them
Or,
punches too.
or,
Because if
or,
he
Straight.
wide,
You ain't seen
if he
match him up,
wide,
land them three.
Crawford.
you get hit.
Go
You're in
ahead.
the hurt.
Go ahead.
But the thing about this,
It's
Crawford
gonna
is
be.
more elusive, bro. Crawford gonna be able to move and get out of certain situations. Like Canelo
I
not
don't
as
think
big on
Crawford's gonna
Crawford
get
now.
hit.
Yeah.
I don't think Crawford's gonna get hit. To be fair, I don't think he's gonna get tagged like in a bad way. Like if you get punched in a boxing ring when you're boxing, yeah. Listen, you can walk out. You get hit in the face, yeah. This is what people they don't really want to discuss this, but like boxing is a sport where you get punched and hit. Like I'm in my 50s now. I've been hit millions of times. You get hit. I don't think like I love Canelo to bits, but I can't see him hitting Bud, bro. I don't think
I
he's
think
gonna
he's
catch
gonna
him
hit him.
flush.
He's gonna hit him, but it's not gonna be clean to the point where he gets wobbled. Like I think Bud is gonna ultimately
Yeah,
stay smart, stay on the outside, and he's gonna be shooting check counters, getting out the way. Like it's gonna be a
do you
good fight,
think
man.
Bud can catch Canelo? Do you think Bud can catch Canelo with a? Do you think it could happen? Do you think
I think
Bud's
it can
got the
happen, but
power,
I don't,
Canelo?
I don't think it will be more so the power. I think it'll be more so the timing. But ultimately, it would have to be. It Canelo would have to be not on his A game. Like I mean, well, I would say this for him to knock out Canelo, Canelo would have to have made a mistake or been compromised, like lose focus, like something would have to be off with Canelo. That would be almost like Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. That would kind of be, or like Sugar
Yeah,
Sean
Nah, it
losing to
ain't gonna
George.
be nothing like that. Cause Buster Douglas was Terrence
I'm
Crawford's
talking about. I'm
undefeated
talking about the
Alabama.
stoppage prize. Don't you think the
Oh, okay,
stoppage would be crazy?
okay.
Because think about what you
Yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what the line is,
That
but
would be
what you think?
crazy.
Crawford by stoppage probably got to be at least
Man,
plus
oh
a
my God.
thousand. Plus a
Oh my
thousand. Can they give
God.
us plus 1,000?
Yo,
I think the
them
fact,
odds are gonna
It's
be
not gonna be
crazy,
that high,
bro.
man. They probably gonna favor Bud
yeah,
to win the
that's
fight.
gonna be a lot.
And you know what? I just learned from the homie TD taught me how to, because I ain't know how to do that because I'm not a gambling man. I do friendly bets. If I
Yeah,
bet BBO, it's gonna be a friendly
Facts.
bet. I don't
yeah,
do them bets, but TD kind of broke it down for me, and now I understand. Now I can see it now. And shout out to him for that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like you
it's
said.
Yeah,
it's,
man.
it's
You want to
all
What
put
you think?
all
some
it
What you
money
really
think?
on?
boils down to is this. We can talk about the fight. It's still in fantasy mode. It's the same thing when we talking about Ryan versus Devin. It's another fantasy fight until we actually get it because I honestly don't think Ryan's gonna take that fight. I could be wrong, but I really
He
don't
ain't got
see
no
Ryan taking
choice.
that fight. I really don't.
So you don't think he gonna take the Devin fight and fight Tio?
I don't think he'll fight Devin. I mean, and the
You
only
don't think
reason
he
I
needs
say
to?
that is because Ryan feels some type of way about getting that no contest, man, and getting sued. I think he really does. He's kind of shown that he feels kind of way about that, man. So I don't know, and I don't like Ryan at all, but you just know that he's going to find some type of way to do Devin a certain way because you can just see how he's moving, man. Everything is like labored and he dragging his feet. I mean, I don't think he want that fight, man. Because really, to tell you the truth, Devin did really well. Except for when he was getting hit with that left hook, he actually did pretty well in that fight.
I'm in agreement with you, but what we talk about behind the scenes, BBO, your bills don't stop,
Yeah, they,
and you know for certain. Well, I won't say you know this for certain, but the rumors are that Ryan possibly may have some gambling issues and things like that. So he likes to gamble, and So at the end of the day, he gonna take his biggest bag. Turkey putting his bread out. Turkey made Bivol better be twice. He made Usyk Fury twice, and you see Fury crying,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to retire now. So ultimately, if Turkey got these boys to sign, they're gonna fight, bro. I think he gonna fight
it's not
somebody.
even
If he
about
don't
the.
fight
See
Devin,
this
he'll
thing.
fight Tio.
See the thing about Ryan. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know people if people look at this B3 and anybody can tell me if I'm wrong. I've never seen a guy throw away as much money as Ryan.
Mm.
Ryan
Yeah, but I go
is
to Mexican fights in the UK, bro. I go to Lara. I've been to Navarrete fights. Listen. When that fight happened, Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia, they were saying it was £3 over in the fight. But once that fight started, Devin Haney was far more hydrated than Ryan Garcia. So Devin Haney's listen. I love Bill Haney. I've been on panels with Bill Haney. Bill Haney said to me, "Would you do my PR work?" I love Bill Haney, but listen, bro. Once Ryan Garcia popped £3 overweight, Haney should have pulled out the fight, but he didn't. This is the facts of the. This is
it's
the
too. You
facts
know
of the
what else?
matter.
It's too much money, man. It's just
Yeah,
too
that
much
money.
money.
No, no,
I
no,
get what
no.
you're saying
I
because
know. I know. Yeah. Carry on, man.
no. What I'm saying is, I would say the only difference is when you talk about boxing over here compared to like the UK, because I've been blessed to be. I went to Wales before. It's totally different.
I'm
It's
Welsh.
totally
I'm
different.
Welsh. I'm Welsh. I'm a Welsh guy.
It's totally
So
different.
yeah, man.
Like if you a boxing star, man, people don't even realize how big Anthony Joshua is. Anthony Joshua would probably be like
Oh,
LeBron over there. He's like LeBron in the UK. I'm being serious. He's that
listen.
popular.
Yeah, man. Listen. I want to see that Fury AJ fight, bro. Listen, Fury. I've never been too hot on him. Like I'm kind of a Mexican boxing fan. So I'll be straight with you. I've come on this channel. I'm having a discussion, but I'm like a Mexican boxing fan.
Hold
But I'll
on,
be straight with you.
more than Wilder. You wanna see the Fury fight more than the Wilder fight for AJ?
Of course he is.
Listen, bro.
That's a huge
Listen,
fight,
bro.
man.
That's a massive fight. But if Wilder AJ happened, that I would watch that as well.
Yeah.
Wilder AJ is crazy.
Even
What?
now, right?
Listen. Well, listen. What's the fucking going on with the PBC? Shelley Finkel. Listen. Everybody goes on about Al Heyman. But I don't think it's Al Heyman. Al Heyman used to get his money from Barclays. Like, he used to get his money from Barclays Bank in the UK. I'm not on about the Barclays Centre. I'm on about the bank. Everything, like, Al Heyman originally started as a rap. He was originally in rap, and he used to do events in New York. I've been to New York, but if you look at what's going on with everything in boxing in America, listen, this Jared Anderson thing was crazy. Everything's going a bit weird. Everybody wants to see AJ Wilder, bro. AJ Wilder's probably been the biggest fight in boxing for the last 20 years.
And I'm gonna be honest.
Shall I be honest?
I think Frank and Eddie, I don't think they wanted it because I think they wanted to
No, I agree.
extend it out.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Listen.
Turkey. Because look at what Turkey did. They got so many. They got Daniel Dubois events. They got Joseph Parker events. They got
Yeah.
fought. Man, they done made so much money. Now they can make the fight. And Wilder had to fight Joseph Parker, who was a tough fight, and he had to fight Big Bang Zhang, who was a tough fight. When Turkey wanted AJ Wilder a year ago. You see what I'm saying? When he was first doing the fights, he wanted AJ.
Yeah.
But now Wilder's beat up already.
Listen, I've been to China. I've been over to China once in my life, and this Big Bang Zhang. Listen, everybody kind of they kind of dot Wilder in a way. And do you know when Wilder got his respect? Wilder got his respect over the last 2 years when he actually fought people. And to be honest with you, if the young Wilder in his early 30s would have fought these guys, I think it would have been a different story. To be honest, I'm not a Wilder fan.
I know. I
don't like him, to be honest, but
I know what you mean, and I think these guys weren't even named back then. But let me just ask you this: how was Wilder perceived when he was fighting Luis Ortiz? How over there where you are? How was Wilder looked at when he was fighting Luis Ortiz? Because that was really his only stiff competition, comparative to what.
We kind of saw that as a bought fight, a duck fight. We didn't see it as a major fight in the UK.
I see what you're saying. Because Luis Ortiz really wasn't proven, so it's like AJ is fighting Klitschko. He's taking on the top challenges. But Wilder's kind of on the PBC diet. Okay, I see what you see. Y'all didn't look at Luis Ortiz as like he's taking on somebody that's okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Like Luis Ortiz got signed by Hearn, so basically, like what happened with Luis Ortiz? He got signed by Eddie Hearn, like Matchroom here, and we always saw the fact of that as a bit fishy.
Okay. My guy T Hill in the building.
What you got on this T Hill, man? What you think about all we got going on in boxing, man? You probably gonna get the AJ versus Joshua fight, Ryan versus Devin. What you think about all this, man?
AJ versus Joshua fight? Who is that?
AJ versus Wilder fight.
All right, for that fight, I mean, I think a little bit of the luster is gone from that fight, but it's still a fight I'd be willing to see, especially if both of them can reclaim a night. You just need to be special one night, bro. So if they can give us special fight one night, I'll be happy with it, man. Because truth be told, I mean, that's the only person besides Fury that Joshua hasn't fought, and I think that would be the only person besides Usyk that Wilder hadn't fought. So, I mean, I'd be happy with it. I mean, I don't think either is actually the fighter that they used to be. But like I say, man, they've been wanting this fight. Well, I know Wilder been wanting this fight for the longest, so maybe that'd be the motivation that Wilder needs to get himself together mentally
Facts.
to get back in that ring. Because if he's right mentally, I believe then he'll be a threat, and it should be entertaining. Because I've like I said, we've done breakdowns, and like on the Triple D fight, I was the only one who said, "Nah, man, I don't see Triple D having too much trouble with him. I know there's a lot of things he doesn't do technically well,
Facts.
but there are some things that Joshua does that are inherent to him getting smacked. And if he gets smacked by the wrong person, it could be a long. Fortunately,
Yeah.
Daniel Dubois was the wrong person that night, and he got smacked. And once he got smacked, he didn't do everything that's necessary. That's why I say I believe fully, wholeheartedly, that they should start preparing fighters for a moment when they're buzzed, what to do, and just constantly at the end when they're really tired, go over it over and over again so that they can have it in memory when that moment happens.
And taking your full 8 count on your knee, stuff like that.
Exactly. And then when I get up, how do I engage the opponent? Where do I grab? What do I do when I'm grabbing excessively? Like, so it doesn't look like all I'm doing is grabbing. How do I get myself together? Like, these things should be taught to people, man. And I know a lot of people who fight say you can't replicate the actual feeling that you get when you knock down, but fatigue.
You know who could teach the course? You know who could teach the course to you?
Who that?
You already know, your boy Devin Haney.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. You been going crazy on this dude, man.
Yeah.
God. I know you're a fan, but please, man.
But Lo, didn't he perform? I mean, the Linares. I mean, the end of the back half after the 10th round. That's like a perfect. That's what you would show a young fighter, because ultimately, when you're winning 10 rounds, he could have got stopped in that fight, and we'd have been like, "Well, there goes Devin Haney." You know what I'm saying? People would have, you know what I'm saying? You lost your title to Linares. Like, nobody would have been thinking about him. But ultimately, he was able to maneuver himself through that adversity, and he kept his title. I mean, that was a hell of a performance, really,
you, man. Devin Haney, and I'm noticing this more and more. It's not him. I think this is the first guy I've seen ever in boxing where they hate his father so much that people starting to hate him.
I don't hate him, bro. I've always rooted for him, and I've cheered for him.
Nobody hates him.
I think his dad do be saying a lot of stuff that he shouldn't say, but I mean, it's boxing. I mean, you do what you got to do to bring attention and spotlight on you. So I understand that as well too.
Yeah.
The thing with me is, like, I know what I see in a ring, and I know what I've seen versus fighters who are not on his level, and yet I saw struggles. And those struggles get intensified when the talent gets greater and greater and greater that you're opposing. And that's where the problem was going to be for me. Like, people can hate on Ryan as much as they want, but the dude is still a skilled fighter. And he got weapons. He got weapons. And no matter what people say, that speed, that power, and that suddenness is kind of hard to do. Huh?
It's got like 200 like amateur fights as well. You know, like Ryan Garcia's got 200 amateur fights, like high level shit, you know?
Yeah, he's a clown, but he's got like you said, he's got high level battles. And like every fight he's been in, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4, people done been on the seat of the hem of their back. So that ain't easy to do. That ain't easy to do.
I just feel like I just think Devin Haney should have been around when Turkey started. Devin Haney's career with what's his face, Eddie Hearn. Listen. Devin Haney, if he come up in this era now with the Turkey, they need to get Tio in the ring. They need to get Tank in the ring. They need to get these guys in the ring. This is what I'm
Crawford.
saying. Listen, all this shit going on with the handshakes with Turkey, the Canelo today. Listen, nobody wants to see Bud against Canelo, really. Nobody wants that.
Nah, I
I
think
don't
that'd
want
be
to
good
fucking
fight.
see that. I
I
don't
mean,
want to see it. I don't want to see that shit.
would you rather see Canelo versus William Score?
You know what?
That's a good point.
If I had to
Yeah,
choose,
you got a
if I
good
had to
point
choose
there.
between, if I had to choose between two, I would choose Crawford because I'm more familiar with Crawford. But at the same
Yeah.
time, bro, I'm not. See, to me, I
Let's
know
go.
what I see. I know what I see, and what I saw that night that Crawford did dominate was an aberration, and I fully believe that. I have never seen a fighter get done like that by Crawford, and that was by lesser competition. So
Yo, do you
Crawford was
remember
on his A game.
Crawford against Spence, bro? Do you remember Crawford Spence?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a tough watch, bro. That was a tough
Yeah,
watch.
that was a
That
tough
was
watch.
fucking
But
lit, bro.
what you saw there, to me, that wasn't the true scope of each fighter. I've never seen Crawford dominate
Facts.
nobody like that, and I've never seen Spence get
Facts.
dominated like that. Look that
It's
bad. So
crazy.
I think that there's a respect for his craft that Crawford had that night, and the precision and the timing and the stuff, because he
Oh
was doing
yeah.
some fantastic stuff. But there was also a clear look of somebody who just didn't look right going into the ring,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't look like
TJ
he had
White.
it in him.
Oh, yeah, I was so disappointed. Like all this crip shit in Houston, and he was in the fucking Lamborghini. I was so disappointed in Spence because listen, you got to that level. Like I was so disappointed in Errol, to be
He
honest.
tried. He tried. I think it was the. I think the main thing is that they didn't postpone the fight, and he had got a rib injury. So ultimately,
Yeah, yeah,
you could
Well,
ultimately tell he was on some substance. I
he
don't
was
know
on
what
some
it
stuff.
was, but he
He
was
was
on
on some stuff,
something. A pain. I think he was on a painkiller.
and he did
it
But let
good.
me
was.
ask you this.
Yeah,
But T here, I gotta
it
ask you this
was.
real quick before we go too far. What you think a bigger fight for AJ? Fury or Wilder?
What me?
No, T
Me?
For
here.
You want?
AJ,
T here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
man.
for AJ.
I'll let the B go, and then I'll answer
No, he
afterwards. Go
went.
ahead, B.
He said he already answered it. But if you
Oh,
want to answer it again, he can.
well, for me, a bigger fight for AJ, for me, is too late. It's layered. I think ultimately for him, it would be Wilder, because Wilder was the one that he was looking
Yeah,
after. You could see when he was at
yeah,
that conference where they all were there, he was worried
yeah.
what the fud Wilder was gonna say out of his mouth. So that was his
That's
that was his
facts.
monkey on the
That's
back right
facts.
there.
Yes. Yep.
But in
Yeah, I
the
think.
actual
Well,
boxing realm, it's a bigger fight with Fury because of location and demographic.
I think
Location and demographic.
Wilder AJ. Well, listen, Wilder AJ is the main one. Wilder AJ is the main one.
See. See.
For me,
You
that
right.
would be the
You
main one.
sold me
On the
on it, bro.
grand scope of things, with everything, all things considered, Wilder is the one for him, for me.
Yes.
But in the things that
That fool,
generate
that
money,
fucking yeah, that fool fucking Fury. Like I lived near him. I lived near Fury, and that fucking fool goes around fucking on the beach, this, that, and the other.
My man cussing way too much, man. He gotta get out of here.
but for
Go
me,
ahead.
Yeah,
for
yeah, he
me,
was over there. But hey, let me say this to you. I wanted to say this to you too because
let me finish it off though, baby boy. You can say it
okay,
to
go
me.
ahead. No, yeah, I'll go ahead. Do your
But
thing.
in the grand scope of boxing and how it facilitates things, the more money and the more views will definitely come from the demographic of them being in the same region, and then it being the play of black versus white. So it will generate the most
Yeah.
interest. But for us, especially for me over here, the fight is the fight that you saw when they were both on the stage, and you could see the way he was looking whenever they asked him a question about him.
Yeah,
See, Wilder
you know
was,
what?
We're not
That's
gonna
a
care. We're not
small
gonna
thing I
care
didn't
about it.
notice till you just said that, Tom.
what's
That's a
that?
good observation, bro. I didn't realize that he was doing that.
Yeah, you could tell he was eyeball because he was worried about what he was going to say. He was going to worry if he was going to talk about him being scared. You know, all that stuff. He was worried because he know He didn't. There was many times where they was calling AJ out, but AJ didn't accept the fight. And
Nah,
no
that's
matter
what's
what
up.
people really, you can tell by the way they carry themselves and their body language if they are really being truthful with the way they hold their opinion. Some people are seasoned at it where they can mask it, but most people are not. And you could tell by his body language that he was very uncomfortable with those questions. My man was like rolling his tongue up in his mouth. You know that thing where your larynx go up and down. That stuff. He was doing all types of stuff. But go ahead, B3. My bad.
Nah, you all good, T Hill. I was just gonna say, I think it's better for AJ to hit up Wilder to get Wilder in the ring with him because that'll set up an even bigger Fury fight. And I think it's good that Fury kind of did a retirement. Hopefully, it's a semi-retirement because he just got beat by Usyk, pillar to post, 2 fights. So he might as well sit down, enjoy his life, enjoy his family, let
Yeah.
AJ and Wilder scrap because that'll be good for the fans. I think
Huh?
it's. You said it's the black
Nah,
and
my
white
bad right there.
component. I don't. I want to ask y'all. Do
All right, have a
y'all
good
is
weekend.
do y'all think that black and white component it does it transfer over to the states? Because I don't know if the people in the states really gonna care about the AJ Fury fight, but I think AJ Wilder, the states is gonna be kind of involved in it, and I think that kind of transcends whatever black and white kind of controversy that AJ and Fury, because I don't know if the UK even get down like that. I think that's just the states
No,
type of
they
shit.
don't. But it's still at play no matter what, bro. No matter where you
Yeah.
go in the world, that's always gonna be at play. All you got to do is just
Yeah.
look at the way that
Okay.
they treat people. That's always at play, bro. Even when they try not to, it's bad out there, just like it is. It's not as overt as it is here,
Yeah.
but it's still there.
I think that they just come off as more accepting, they more ingratiated. They've kind of accepted the Nigerian and the Jamaican culture to some extent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. They do a
To a
better
certain
job at
extent.
it. Yeah,
100%.
you're right. You're
100%.
absolutely right. I would not deny that. You're absolutely correct. But I mean, there is still the play though, and especially for the people who actually spend more money. You know, the people
I
that
think
spend more money. There's certain people that can't sit at the table.
Hold on,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Those Fury and Wilder pay-per-views, I think at least one of them cracked 1 million buys, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. I
But
think
I mean, with the exception of the second fight, they were very great. They were great fights.
yes,
Like
yes,
the second one is just something was off with Wilder,
but we got to start
and
also
then
thinking about when is Turkey just got an endless amount of money, or is he looking, because I know he wants to make these big fights, you see what I'm saying? So the Fury and AJ fight is a fight that ultimately he possibly can recoup some of the money he's kicked out. The Fury, that's why he wanted AJ Wilder, because he's been doing fights with Usyk, who don't have a fan base, with Bivol and Better BF. They have a fan base, but not in a pay per view market or a US pay per view market. So I just think that he's trying to find that fight to where that's why he's trying to deal with Ryan, trying to deal with Devin, trying to deal with, Canelo and Crawford, because he wants to find that pay per view fight.
well, undoubtedly, and on top of that, he wants to give you bang because I know there's been build that they're giving you the fights that they want to see. Just like every contemporary of Tank is giving you the fights they want to see, except for Tank. But that all is hodgepodge. He's given us 2 fights that you know what fit that bill. 2 fights that people craved for. And you want to know the irony about that is when he gave us those 2 fights, we were talking about other fights and fights that weren't even happening. So he's got to deal with that in the backlash that even when I give you what you want, you still want something. You clamor for
Can't
something
win.
more.
You can't
So
win,
so
man. And
Yeah.
that's not, you know what? And I think that's just part of wearing the crown, man. That's part of
yeah,
wearing the crown.
yeah. So he wants to be the crown jewel when it comes to boxing. Then every fight has to be okay. If you're gonna do what you're saying you're gonna do, and you're trying to make the biggest and best fights, then all you need to really look at is back in the '90s, late 80s when Don King was doing his thing. That's what we were getting. You were getting like main events all throughout the card. Fights
Yeah,
you
but I
wanted to
think
see.
only difference is Tom. They always just fought whoever was the #1 contender. It was no matchmaking like that.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't no matchmaking. Mostly it was only a few umbrellas that you were on. And on top of that, the way that the fighters communicated with one another and the way that the public viewed the fighters was what's with much more respect. Now you got Mickey Freakies on the phone, clowning Mickey Freakies, putting people up in the phone, playing with their hair, talking about, I promise. I promise. So you got other people over there talking about, look, this dude over here got memes and stuff of him crying and whatnot because he got knocked out or knocked down. You got a face super blown up looking like Martin Lawrence because somebody had a bad day. And then they saying you don't deserve a fight. Look what they did to Spence. Spence lost one time. And they say he don't deserve nothing. And my man never got a rematch. Never got a rematch, which was in the contract. And it was in the contract at 54. And my man said, well, we had to fight at 47. Don't the match got to be it? Mickey Fricky, you got the fight after you postponed. You pulled out after agreeing. Got you a fight. My man didn't get a fight. My man then fought you with broken ribs, hopped up on medication, and running a freaking mile. What's that mountain out there? The day of the fight.
Colorado, yeah.
Yeah, the day of the fight, the morning of or the night after. I mean, the night before. And you know, you had a shining moment. Congratulations. But, you know, that doesn't erase the contract that he gave you against his own company's advising. So,
Yeah, he definitely. And I want to piggyback. I want to speak on this real quick. I just thought about this when you was bringing that up, and just like the fight that Arrow showed, he through adversity, even getting knocked down as many times as he did, he kept fighting. And some guys, I heard some, I think D1 and like some other people, they was kind of being disingenuous in my opinion when they was trying to say that Ryan didn't quit against Tank. They were saying, well, you know, let you get hit with a body shot by Tank. And I'm like, yeah, you know, you could say that. And I know we all like, everybody likes Ryan because he's a pretty white girl. So, you know, they're gonna give him a pass. But ultimately, when we watch boxing and we know boxing, we've seen guys get dropped and get up. We've seen guys get hurt with a body shot and still make counts. And we've ultimately seen guys be hurt and clinch and hold and survive and crawl and fight to continue on in order to get to a decision, get to a finish, or continue to fight and still try to win. So when you say a guy made a business decision, he made a business decision to quit. So I just wanted to speak on that real quick.
He's not that guy, man. That's kind of already established, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we can beat that like with as a dead horse, but Ryan is just not that guy, man. He's proven it like over and over again. He's not that guy. He's fearless. He'll fight everybody, but
I think he has a great. I think he has a top. He has. I think he has a top pedigree just based off his amateur background, and ultimately we see that he has certain a skill set that's this high level. I've already mentioned that he's probably the fastest, hardest punching Latino fighter that I've ever seen. I don't know if y'all have seen another one. I think Salvador Sanchez was mentioned, but I don't think nobody else
I mean,
is
what
getting.
Tommy said is true, and he putting people on their pockets. That's, I mean, outside of the Tank fight, I mean, and I'll tell you what, man. One thing about it, I'm learning in boxing is that they like to spread a lot of narratives.
Yeah,
Say what you want about Tank Davis, man. He really is a decent fighter. It's just that you want to see him fight certain guys. And really, what Tank is, you gotta agree for it to be all his way, or you won't get the fight. And I think that's hard for people to accept. But you see, Ryan accepted that.
nah, well, you
Um,
also see Ryan got a whole bunch of money. It didn't have to be all his way. See, the
no,
thing
no,
with
no.
Ryan,
What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this, Tom. I'm saying that Tank has shown you if you fight him, it's going to be in his favor pretty heavily. You're gonna
yes,
probably have a rehydration clause. You're probably gonna have this on. You probably gonna have that on. You probably gonna have 6 months, 8 months of testing.
Ryan
I
would not
just
have that Ryan a hydration clause if he would have fought at 135. There would not have been a fight. He wanted a 136, a catch weight. If he would have
yeah,
got
and
one more
and
pound,
I
but
he
hear
could
here's
have
what
the
put
you're
on.
but
saying.
T Hill,
I'm not
but
discrediting Tank. I'm just saying if you're being fair, Tank is going to put things out there to help give him an advantage.
oh,
It's just like when Sean Porter. It's just like when Sean Porter was fighting Adrian Bronner, and Sean and he and Adrian Bronner was trying to get Sean Porter to fight at 144. Just trying to take something out of him. That's all. It's nothing but business, which is pretty ruthless. That's all it is. It's just the
but
business is
you
kind of
can't.
ruthless, man.
And BBO, we can't pass up on the fact that Barrios' fight was at 140 and he had a rehydration, so that
Yeah,
wasn't no test. So
and
that
I
wasn't no
put like
test
this:
race.
if
So
Barrios would have came in at 170, 180 like he should have, it would have probably been a different fight.
Yeah,
yeah, it was still a
That's
good
just
fight. I think.
what I'm saying is when you
you could say that, bro. But
Yeah,
man, I mean, I don't think either one of them not being able to quote unquote put on the weight that they wanted to would have changed much drastically. I mean, just the bottom line is Tank being a small dude still is a very, very skilled dude. And on top of that, he's a step ahead of you. And he was playing chess while they was playing checkers the whole match long. And then eventually he got to the king. He took out the
um
rook and
you,
then he
you,
got
ma-
to the
you
king. You could watch that fight in slow motion, bro. That boy Barrios was very active. He didn't wear down. He didn't look like he was tired or anything like that. He
no,
was throwing
that's
punches.
not what I'm saying, Tom. What I'm saying, because I agree with you, but what I'm telling you is the only fight I've ever seen Tank have any real adversity in, other than when he was young. I'm talking about as he became who he is today. Floyd's protege, Tank Davis. The only fight I really seen him in that I thought he could possibly lose was the Barrios fight. All those other fights, I thought he was gonna win. It was just coming. I thought when he fought Barrios, he had a chance of losing. If you look at that fight, what Floyd said, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you." And if you just think about tanking that fight, just think about that was the one fight. I mean, you could say Victor Ortiz. I mean, you could say Esau Cruz if you want, but the only fight I ever seen Tank in that I thought he would lose was against Barrios. That's the only fight he's ever been in that I thought he would lose is the one versus Barrios.
I hear you on that. I feel that way. I think that all of his contemporaries have been in fights that way as well too. I have not seen one of his contemporaries in a fight that I thought he would lose, except for Devin. I thought he would lose to Loma. I thought he would lose to Ryan. That's the
I
only one.
definitely thought T.O. would lose to Josh Taylor. I thought he would lose to Loma, and I
You're
definitely
right.
thought he
You're
was
right.
going to
You're
lose
right.
to Richard Coleman. I
You're
thought it
right.
was too early.
I did have Josh Taylor beating T.O., so I take that back. I only had him beating T.O. after I saw what Sandor Martin did, but what I neglected to think about was the fact that Josh Taylor had been waning down, and he also likes to come forward, and that's fighting into T.O.'s wheelhouse. So I didn't take that into consideration. But other than that, the Loma fight, yeah, I thought he would lose. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
Yeah,
honestly, when you look at the fight, if it wasn't for the 12th round, I think he probably would have lost that fight.
for
Because
sure.
even though Loma cruised the first 7 rounds,
He
six
started
rounds,
whooping that tail
round
that
seven,
last end of that fight.
yeah, round 7 through 11, he was dominating the fight. Not like how he was getting dominated. He dominated even more. But any fight you get into in the ring,
Mhm.
there's a possibility that you could lose that fight. You could
No,
be off.
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the Barrios fight was the first time we seen the adversity of him losing. Let's be honest here, man. Everybody he's fought, Frank Martin, Hector Garcia, Ryan Garcia, you knew he was going to win. Well, I remember those. You remember those B3? You remember those weigh-ins where he looked like he was like a foot taller than Tank?
Man, he
I
was a
mean,
football this thing.
it was just
Yeah, I
like
remember the weigh-ins, but I didn't.
Tank looked so
I never gave
small, and
Barrio a
I
chance to
remember
beat
how
Tank.
tough Barrios was because they wanted Barrios to fight Josh Taylor next. And I don't want to forget who Barrios once was, the Azteca. He was nice, man. He was with the great Virgil Hunter. I
No
mean, he had
BBO
a
gonna
nice.
cap.
Go ahead.
BBO always gonna cap for his Latinos. Nobody wanted no Barrios versus no Josh Taylor. People
No, you got to
wanted
remember
Tank.
he was the
People
he was a
wanted
regular
Tank versus.
champion with the WBA, so that's what
Yeah, he was a
he was going to
regular
try to get his
champion.
mandatory to kind of what is it, to consolidate the belts.
Yeah,
So
he barely beat Akhmedov. He fought Akhmedov, and he won a close fight that people thought Akhmedov beat him. Nobody was putting him on fighting no undisputed champion. They wanted Tank to fight the undisputed champion Josh Taylor because he was making comments about Josh like he could stop Josh, but Tank never took that on. He never made that fight happen.
you see, that's the thing with Tank that's so like frustrating. I think for anybody who's watching him is that you just see so much talent, and I just will never understand why the Devin Haney and Tank fight didn't happen at 135. I get the contract stuff, but I just don't see how Devin couldn't have made that happen or Tank couldn't have made that happen. Because you realize that when Canelo wanted to be undisputed and he wanted to fight Kovalev, he had to come back to the negotiating table and give up some more. When he fought what was the guy? Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Smith, Caleb Plant, he had to go back to the negotiating table as the A side to give him some more money. I think Tank gotta, but I've heard things about Tank necessarily not being in a negotiating. He's not negotiating the same way Canelo is too. So I don't know, man.
Well, you
I
already know Leonard Ellaby already told us that when they asked him about the Devin and Tank fight, they said Devin is one of the highest paid lightweights, and Tank don't take no pay cuts. So, I mean, those are two things that Leonard Ellaby told us. So
but you know what's
ultimately,
so
that'll
funny
tell you
about it?
right
When
there.
you Google Tank's name, right? They say Tank has made so much money. You know what his net worth is when you Google it? I want you guys to take a guess.
It probably only say like 7 million to 10 million, something like that.
Something like that. Probably so.
What you say, T Hill?
Well, I'd say about 12 million. I'd go by
You
they
know what it is? It's
Probably
$1
higher than
million.
that. Yeah. How much?
$1 million.
Oh, that's what it's that's what it come up as. Oh, okay.
Yep, 1 million.
That's actually a good for Tank. Quiet as kept.
I mean, quiet as kept is definitely good for anybody, bro. To tell you the
Yeah.
truth, $1 million you can do them out with, but unfortunately, that's not the actual number, bro. I mean,
Not even close.
No, I'm not saying that is number. What I'm saying is I don't think he got all the money they say he do. That's all I'm saying, T.
Oh well,
Oh,
I
as
mean,
far as that Crawford stuff, yeah.
that could be, but I say this, and I say this affectionately, bro, because I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. The only people that knows is the people in the inner circle. I don't believe he's upset because he ain't got money or things like that. I believe he's upset because he went out and said, I want to fight these fighters next. And he's not getting to fight these fighters. Instead, he has to put up with other fighters. And then that means more people talking nonsense. And then Al wasn't around. So the person that he's getting advised by is not up there, and he probably wasn't even talking to nobody because he had some personal time, some me time. So he's frustrated because he don't trust people, because all he knows is that no matter what I do, I can. Case in point, when you got people in your life, you want them to stay to themselves, they keep their peace to themselves and not get into other people's affairs and not do anything but like stand up whenever I need to. He's been walking that way. He's been carrying himself that way. Now, yeah, he done some things that he probably shouldn't have did. He got seen putting his hands on a girl's neck. Then one time somebody fake called on him and things like that, and they put him in all kind of like spousal abuse labels, things like that. But we don't know. But what we do know is that he don't speak on people unless they speak on him. He mind his own business and he keep his circle close and he deals with them because he knows that, hey, where I come from, people do people dirty.
I'm gonna say this though. The one thing that I think you're missing, T, is this.
Listen, dog.
I don't think, and this is not me trying to cast aspersions.
Oh, you know,
I don't think Tank's people look as good as Devin's when it comes to sharing the wealth. I don't think he's sharing the wealth in the same way. I see all those guys around Devin looking prosperous. He didn't have the same dudes with him around him since he started. Bill has had the same team around him. These guys look like they making some money. I don't And I don't know. I don't because I know we got different ties to people, but I don't see that money in the Upton gym. I see it a lot. That's a lot of grant money. I don't really see Tank's imprint on the people he say he love and care about in the same way I do with Devin, in the same way I do with Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna be honest, in the same way I see with Adrian Bronner or Easter Bunny.
Okay,
Easter
for sure.
Bunny's mom is
Now,
driving a 550. I don't think Easter Bunny's fought in years. His mom
okay.
is still driving a 550.
So now we're gonna go by vehicles since that's what we
No,
were
no,
just.
no. I'm just saying you're going. What I'm saying is
I'm
you.
gonna go with that.
I don't
So
think
the
he's making that money. Is all I'm saying. I don't think he's making that money that they're saying because the people around him don't seem to be getting it the same way. That's I could be wrong. It's just me. It's just us having a conversation about it. You
yeah,
know,
for
I could
sure.
be wrong.
Too. I don't know, but what I do know is this: what gym has Devin Haney plushed out? What gym has the Easter Bunny plushed out? What gym has any of these people plushed out? And let me see they furnishments. You know,
Um,
before I even make that thing. I don't know. I can't call it. Like I said, I don't speak on things that I don't have a clue of. And that's one of the things that unfortunately I don't have a clue on. You might be right.
this is all I'm saying. If he's making the money that they say he's making, if I'm making 10%, if I'm making 5%, just if I have any, I'm gonna tell you something funny. When I had my little run, the people in my life, my grandmother, my mother, my father, were blessed, and still blessed off what happened. Thank God. You know, God rest my grandma's soul. But I'm telling you, man, when you got it to give to help your people, they're gonna look a little different. They don't. I'm just saying. I don't see them. I just don't see the money in the same way that I do with others, man. I could be wrong. I don't know because people seeing what Chrome Heart and all that bull crap. Well, that stuff ain't that
That's
expensive,
in
man.
the
That stuff
ring.
is cheap.
Yeah, that's in the ring.
I'm
In
talking
the ring,
about
stuff like that.
outside the ring. I just don't see the. I don't know, man. I don't see the money. The people that he supposedly loves the most, man. They like they still working regular jobs, man. That's
I
what it
don't think
looks like.
they're jobs though, but I mean, you could be right.
What you think, B3?
That-
Oh, about B3. No. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, T. Go ahead, T.
No, I'm still here. I was just on mute. I
No, I'm just saying.
mean,
You get what I'm
I
saying, though?
no, I do. I mean, I see what you said because I mean, it's tough to say because we don't know what type of a level of investment Tank is putting in behind the scenes that's not visible. You know, that's not that probably you can't wear on your neck or on your wrist or drive or could be properties that he's investing. He could be investing in the youth. So I mean, I look at it like this though, BBO. He definitely made a bag on that Ryan fight. So ultimately, that was reportedly 40 million. So
What I'm
however you
saying is,
cut
did he
it a
get all
slice,
the money? Is all I'm saying. Did he get all the money?
well, he paid cash money for that crib that he stayed in Baltimore. That I think it was like a condo or something, like one of them $5 million condos. So he definitely got that bread if he dropped that much on a crib.
It's 5 million for sure.
That crib was like 5 M's, yes. And
Okay.
that wasn't and that's separate from the real estate property that when he bought he invested in his community. He had bought that block. That's separate. So he definitely touched some good paper.
He touched some good paper, and then he bought some house out there in Florida as well too. On top of that, he bought his coach a top of the line suburban that he wanted. That's what he wanted. It's the top of the line Cadillac joint. That's like that. But I mean, I don't know. And maybe the people that he's with is kind of frugal anyway. Maybe they don't like wearing stuff like that. I don't know. We don't know any of that. I don't know what Dev and his people doing, and that's not really my care or concern. My concern is for them as fighters and what they do in the ring, bro. What they do outside the ring, that's on them, man. Now, you would hope that they would be generous because they live in a space and time where they can be very helpful to folks. But you can't tell nobody how to choose to spend their money or their bread and what to do with it. I don't know what he do. He's a very closed off person. He don't like to share his business with people. And there's a lot of people that's like that. There's a lot of people that don't like telling.
Okay,
You
I'm okay because I see y'all playing the most confused black men on the planet right now. So
okay.
I'm gonna just be frank in what I'm thinking. When Floyd was doing his company, right? When Floyd was first doing TMT, right? Then he ended up going to jail for beating up his, God rest his soul, his children's mother. That's what he was convicted of. So we not making casting aspersions. He was convicted and sent to prison for assault. And
But
there
since we're
is
talking
fact.
about
But
Floyd's
listen,
people,
this is a fact. He gave Uricus Gamboa $300,000, right? He gave
yeah.
Anthony Durrell $200,000. He gave what's my one dude? Badu Jack $70,000. What I'm saying is this: Floyd, when he's around the people that he's working with, they immediately have money in their pocket. And I'm telling you, ain't nobody working no regular job that's in the camp. I mean, I feel like this. I don't know if I don't believe that Al Heyman's paying everybody that money up front. I don't know, but I don't believe so either. I don't think he's paying everybody their money up front.
So we talking about a person who still has a check from one of the biggest fights grossed ever that he's not cashed because he's generated so much money in the sport. You're comparing him to somebody else.
Yeah, you
I
Come on.
can't
I
compare.
guess
You
you're right.
can't do that. You
I
can't do
guess
that
you're right. I
because
guess you're right. I guess you're
because
right.
those
Okay.
is fighters under Mayweather Promotions.
But no, what I'm saying
Tank
is
don't
it's
have.
true that he gave that money out. All I'm saying is Floyd got that money to give, is all I'm saying. I don't know if Tank has the money to give. That's all I'm saying.
So for your company,
Go
when you're
ahead.
doing well, do you bless somebody that's from an outside company?
No, no, I only bless people that work.
That's what video is saying. These are people that's part of his. Yo, you a part of my thing. This is how I'm gonna bless you right there. But the brother also is in a whole. You can combine every single hitter right now, currently, in all of their bank accrued, and it still won't equal up to what Floyd done amassed.
And
Oh, okay, I
he
got you.
probably owed them a fight. That's why he probably had to break them off some bread. It probably was an event.
Oh, he broke. Well, he did owe him a fight. He broke that bread because he wanted to keep them, on the
Relationship
sideline
good.
while he
Yeah.
got, while he was in jail.
Yeah, no
Um,
question. But the thing about it is, we also got to put it on wax that Bernard Hackett said that Tank always took care of Jalil when he gave him that work, out of his own pocket. So he didn't never have to worry about that. He always made sure that Jalil was straight. So that's just one example of Tank making sure he broke bread with somebody that was, in the sport that was giving him work.
I'm glad you said that, B3, because my man BBO, at least on the radio, he pretends to have like a great respect and admiration for my man Bernard Hackett. My man Bernard Hackett told you out of his mouth personally on your forum
yeah.
that one of the most generous people you could ever meet in life is Tank Davis.
Oh, for sure.
He told that to you. You
A
was
couple
talking to
people told me that.
Yeah, he told you that. And this man don't look like the type of person that's gonna tell a story just to bolster somebody else up, to big him up. Because bigging
No.
him up don't do anything for his father or his sons. So I'm pretty sure it's generous. I've heard other people speak highly of Tank, man. Tank just a dude that just move a little bit different than other folks. He don't like his
Yeah.
stuff out in the public. I mean, he could be what you say he is, but he also could be what brother Bernard Hackett say. So I don't know what he is, but what I do know is that he said this:
Yeah.
I want these next 6 fights to be this, and that. So that's all I'm really concerned about. I hope that he can get to this, and that. And honestly, I believe he can fight each and every single one of them. And I don't want it to be at a disadvantage. I want them to be able to be at their best, so that there won't be no excuses made or given by either side. Because before anything, dog, before there was a Tank, there still was boxing, and I was a fan of it. And I don't riding hard for Tank, bro. I just see what it is that is the truth, and I see how a lot of stuff gets thrown on Tank, but get cast on other folks.
And that's
And
this is all I'm saying, man. And you can and you guys can say I'm wrong if you disagree with me. I just know this from being around pet cats, who've made good money in sports. When you're doing well, there's nothing to take care of the people around you. And the people around you gonna live a certain way. I mean, I remember there was a guy named Chris Wells. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Beanie Wells, who played at Ohio State, got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, was my neighbor. And he go ahead.
Benny Wells was your neighbor?
He was my neighbor. And the thing that was so funny about it, when he got drafted, his mother quit her job and he, backed her. And I don't think he had the money to do that, but he did. And I'm just saying, he might have made maybe 6 or 7 million, and he took that money and still has that money to this day. What I'm saying is, you could just see when people get money, the people around you look better. They look different. People
Some
start getting their
people,
teeth fixed. People
I
start
swear to
getting their
God,
teeth fixed. Go ahead.
I swear to God, some people don't really covet money like that, and they don't like to man. It's some people that are absolutely rich that you couldn't even tell, bro, because they drive regular cars and wear regular clothes. The things that they have on that are really worth something, people wouldn't even know unless they really into it.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff look basic and regular, dog. He could have some people around him. You gotta realize they still live in a grimy part of town.
Right.
You know, and you can't have too much because unfortunately there are people who don't have as much and would love to come up.
Oh yeah, come get you. Yeah, that's a good point too.
So I mean, I don't know what's going on, but what I do know, like I said, is that in boxing, it's a lot of people unfortunately not getting in the ring with one another, and it's get manufactured under the business of boxing. And
Yeah.
then certain people are affiliated or aligned with other folks. They get more of the onus of it than others. And ultimately everybody's at play. Everybody needs to come to a point. You're on a team, say football, and you're all-star greatest offensive tackle there is, but your quarterback is banging and everybody's calling his name. They coming to see you protect him, or they coming to see him throw the ball and hand it off?
Oh, it's gonna be a little bit of both, but you're right.
It's gonna be a
We
little
all
bit of
gotta do
both.
our
But if you're
jobs.
getting paid, do it look like a little bit of both? Or do the
No, it look like
quarterback
the
look like
quarterback doing everything.
it look like they doing everything? They get paid, and unfortunately, the tier of what's really important, because you can't win without people like you. You can be bomb as hell as a quarterback, but you don't have people that's protecting you and opening up running lanes for the running backs, and also likewise getting disruption on the defensive line. It's going to be hard for you to win a game, bro, because you can't protect and you can't stop somebody. So everything is glamour, and unfortunately, what's glamorous is those who sell. So they're gonna go to the quarterback and give him all the credit when things go well, and then all the blame when things don't go well. I mean, hell, we saw it with Tom Brady. He's a clear example of it. I've seen Tom Brady throughout his whole career throw some terrible passes. His receivers made hella plays on, but it was a great play because it was Tom Brady. I seen him go to the West NFC Championship with a team that was suspect the year before. So he was the run key man addition, and he got all the praise. And in the championship game, that fool that man threw 4 interceptions and had 2 fumbles, and their defense won the game. But they was talking about Tom Brady. So like they always favor something to give the money to or to get the attention of. And unfortunately, in boxing, it's always been the quote unquote showstopper, the showtime person, like Muhammad Ali. Well, we ain't got very many Muhammad. The closest thing we got to Muhammad Ali is Blair the Flair Cobbs. And the reason why he's no Muhammad Ali, because why you laughing, bro? He's got a charismatic personality. Like, he'll make you want to see a fight with the words, but when he's in the ring, it's not.
You
It's
just
not.
you just referencing active fighters,
Yeah,
or
active
you
fight.
okay? The active guys. Nah, Blair, T. Your point was definitely well executed, but I had to cut you off because you threw Blair and Muhammad Ali in the same breath.
No,
I
no,
would
no.
say
I'm talking
Blair.
about
I'm just gonna have to say this. Let me just say this, and you can keep cooking. Blair is most definitely charismatic. He's a bit of a clown, but to put a better argument out there. The next one I would say is probably gonna be Keyshawn, man. I think the way he did his performance at his hometown, where he was on the mic. I mean, he was pretty much analyzing other fights and giving his breakdown, and I mean, he did a full performance. So ultimately, he spoke up about his issue with his weed, with his he was smoking and whatnot, and ultimately he had got a fight overturned, so he stood through that adversity as well. Talked about having some mental health issues and being and I think he was in like a mental health facility as well. So Keyshawn is that next one up, man. People better be careful, or just look out for Keyshawn. I think he could be that next guy.
Hey, he may very well be. I won't have no discredit to that at all, man. I mean, he does speak well for himself, and he does have a little bit of swag to him with the
Yep.
way he crafts his words. I will say that too. He does also come off a little bit zesty for my take, but I mean, I'll just leave it at that because he say some things that is just a little bit. Whereas Blair Claire talk more like I'll whoop your tail, dog. I get you up in there and I'll show you something. But what I'm saying is either one.
So Blair's not the most zesty. Come on, Tia, tighten up.
Oh, the most
Blair is super zesty. Blair with the flair, with the hair, with the painted nails.
hey, I don't
You
know. I'm
ain't
not.
hear you ain't hear what he was talking like his come
I'm
on.
talking conversation.
BVO, are you in here, man?
Yeah, we're in the house.
Blair the
Okay,
Flair that only fights like once
is
every 2 years. Man.
yeah, is Blair not zesty as hell?
I'm gonna tell you something about Blair, man. I think Blair is just a new age dude, like a Tank, and I think a lot of what they do is for cats like us. It's kind of fruity, but that's just kind of how I guess that's how them dudes are now. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I'll say
But
this. I've never been a proponent of wearing man purses, whatever you call it, man bags or anything like that. But to each their own. I'm just talking about talking, like I'm gonna get in your. I'm trying to get you provoked to the point where you're gonna want to fight me. You're gonna want to hurt me. And I mean, I don't see Keyshawn at that level yet. I know he can speak well for himself. He's a very well
yeah,
spoken person. And to that point, there are a few others that speak well for themselves, but the trash talk ain't on the same level as Bears to me. Now he might say and do some zesty things too. I'm just talking about as far as engaging somebody else to make them say, "Man,
yeah,
I F you up." I mean, he did it with Boots. He had Boots ready to say, "Man, we could do it right now."
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely. That's a
And that was in Philly the time that they was over there. They was at that fight that one time. Well,
But
man,
Boo Boo Andre had a little bit of that in him.
yeah. That's a good point.
Boo
He
Boo.
definitely did.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, if we really being honest, the one that truly represents that is my main man, AB.
AB, no question.
AB had that point where you know what you want to see the fight and you want to see somebody f him up. So that's what Muhammad Ali had. But the thing is, when he talked his talk, he got up in that ring and he gave you what he's talking about. For the most part, there was some bad dudes he came across that he had to go a second time with, maybe a third time with. But That was some good fights because
But
he
see,
still.
they hinder you. See, even AB, they didn't allow him to live his to his fullest, because I remember when he said that, when after he beat the Mexican, he said, I just beat the bleep out of a Mexican. And then he said, I'm the can man, anybody can get it. The
Yeah.
WBC made him apologize. And so ultimately, and I ultimately we can see Boo Boo Andre, how he was kind of clowned in the media, and he never was able to get a big fight until Benavidez. Uh, certain guy, and I, like I'm saying, with a
And you ain't
Keyshawn,
saying nothing
with a
from
Keyshawn, they don't want people not going. It's gonna look distasteful for a Keyshawn to trash talk a Baranchik or a Lomachenko. People not going. When Devin pushed Lomachenko, people was kind of saying Devin looked bad. I think it's gonna take Keyshawn to beat up a person like Baranchik, and then fight a Tank Davis, fight a Andy Cruz, for him to be able to really show that trash talking side.
Okay,
I
now
mean, B3, those fights are never going to happen. He's not going to fight Shakur. He's not going to fight any of them, man. It's just at this
who's not
point,
gonna fight
man,
Shakur?
if you think he's going to fight these fights, man, you kind of being delusional.
Who? Who are we talking about? He.
Uh, Abdul Wahid Tank.
All
I
right,
agree with
man.
Shakur. I don't
we
think
were
he's ever
talking
fighting
about
Shakur.
Keyshawn.
I agree with, if it was Kush, because B3 was talking about Keyshawn. If it's Keyshawn, I don't believe Keyshawn fighting Shakur. I think they
Nah,
should, but I don't believe they're fighting. But I
nah,
believe he will
Shakur
fight
said he
Shakur.
would.
But I
Mm-mm.
heard Big Dre was about to say something. I know
Oh,
my
my
man.
bad. Go ahead, Big Dre.
No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Excuse my voice. But when you were talking about Keyshawn there, when B first salute to all the chat and the panel, because
What
it's
up,
just
big
boxing
gun?
talk, the 2 a.m. edition.
Him edition. I like that.
But you know, when you're talking about these flashy personalities,
Yeah.
you look at Floyd. Floyd was always, he was pretty boy until he became money. Both
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
larger than life outside the box personalities. Flashy, gotta have it, gotta show it, gotta be that. You know,
Yeah,
talk
fine.
talk more crap than a fertilizer salesman.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
The man got out there and did it. And he also did his thing in the ring. Excuse me.
He did.
Um,
He did.
but you also look at Blair the Flair. Blair the Flair is currently talking his ish. And, you know, being that clown outside the ring, he ain't made it big yet, so he can't be flashy with the money. But he is trying his best to put on those airs for everybody to see. Keyshawn is being loud and boisterous. Keyshawn's problem is he's got his quote brother, Shakur, and they have vowed not to fight. Um, that should have been an in-house secret. You shouldn't have put that out in the public. I don't think it was right. Um, the public's going to demand it, but that's something you could have kept under wraps, because because you put it out there, people going to push for it. Now I may be wrong, but I don't think I think that's unnecessary pressure on both of them, um, coming from people like us who want to see the fight. And now that you said that you ain't gonna fight, we want to see it even more.
Yeah, and that's not the only person that Shakur said he wasn't gonna fight. I don't know if y'all peeped that. Because Devin said he was going to 147. Um,
Devin need to carry his butt to 154.
Shakur said he wasn't going, he wasn't, looking for that fight. And I'm like, I mean, if you feel like you can beat a guy, the weight shouldn't matter. That's a big name. Like, I mean, I don't see why the Devin fight shouldn't still be on the table
Oh,
for
it's most
Shakur. I know
definitely.
Wally Moses. You remember Wally Moses really said that Devin is not bigger than Shakur. That's what Wally Moses said. So I don't see why 147 would be an issue for Shakur just on the one off for Devin.
Shakur is he looks big without being big, without showing it. When you look at the way he carries himself, the way he dresses, you know, he looks like he could swell up to be pretty big boy. Um, but he tones it down the way he dresses. He don't try to be flashy. And whereas Devin gets in the ring and he is, um, he flaunting his size. You can see he's been, with the exception of Ryan, he's been an inch or two taller. He's been, you know, 10 to 25 pounds heavier than, everybody he's been in the ring with. He fills out really well, and you can see it. When Shakur was at 130, he didn't look that big. Um, he didn't move like he was that big either. Um, my problem is that when Shakur moved up to 135, he had that one good fight. Then he made the bad decision of fighting De Los Santos with a bad hand. He threw up that stinker. Yes, he won the fight. But, when you go around and between two fighters, you can count all the punches on one hand. That's not a fight anybody wants to see.
Yeah,
Therefore,
but
the term track star came out.
I wonder if because that was he was fighting for the WBC, I wonder if there was a situation where if he would have, sat out and took a surgery or something like that, he might have lost that belt possibly, or something might have happened. But I want to ask you this, Big Dre, since you're here. You think Jose Ramirez is a cherry pick for Devin?
Devin needs a winnable fight right now. He needs this winnable fight. He needs a confidence builder. He needs somebody that he can go in there, show off his skills on, and come out a winner, come out on top. He needs to come out unmistakably the victor. There should be no question about it. And he needs that for two reasons. First of all, I think in that ring with Ryan, what happened in the ring shattered his confidence. And I say it shattered his confidence because of the way he carried himself, going back and forth about fighting Ryan for the next couple of days. I mean, it wasn't, when he first came out the ring, it was like, man, I don't know if I want to fight him again, yada yada
We
yada.
always go back and forth about this, me and you, Big Dre. When
Yes,
he
we
was
do.
in the ring,
I,
the
I,
the,
I
the
said, I said,
interview,
come on now, man.
he said I gave him a shot. It's only right that he give me a shot back. That was after losing his O, and probably not wanting the fans to see him touch his jaw because his jaw was so swollen. He probably didn't even want a meme of him grabbing his jaw because his jaw was broken. And he said he wanted a rematch. So when it came out that Ryan cheated him, he was speaking about not wanting to give Ryan the opportunity because ultimately he's still a undisputed champion. So he still has to have he still has credibility and merit upon who he is and what he's done. I thought that was the reason why he was saying, he didn't know about giving him the opportunity again. I don't think it never was like he never wanted to fight him. I don't think that was even a thought, because we seen in the fight, he never quit, he never gave up. He tried to fight all 12 rounds. It just, it just wasn't his night.
Right. Listen, the cheating aside, because we're not going to talk about Osterine at all, because everything that I'm talking about happened between 420 and 423. Those 3 days that there was no mention of any drug cheat. Okay? Devin looked like a broken fighter. Devin had that duh look about him. He didn't look like himself. He didn't act like himself. He gave back and forth answers after a loss. He didn't have that warrior spirit. He didn't show that. He didn't show the warrior mentality that he showed in the ring. Because, man knock you down 3 times officially, 5.5 times unofficially, and you continue to get up. And that shows that you have that warrior spirit. But when you came out the ring and you lost that O, and things are running through your mind, the way that they were running through Devin's, you say some things that maybe you don't mean. But you say some things, I don't think you, well, let me rephrase that. You say some things that you really, really mean. You said it because you meant it. You didn't have time to think about it. And it wasn't about opportunity. It wasn't about drugs. It wasn't about the cheating. It was the fact that you just got humiliated in the ring by Ryan Garcia, somebody that you labeled a C-class fighter, somebody that you said couldn't beat you on your worst day, somebody that you said has no business being in the ring with you. Somebody who you said he's got one weapon. It's a left hook. We've been training and working on defending the left hook. What is the first punch you got hit with? A left hook. Everything that you had planned for, the way you saw the fight going, all of your mental exercises of visualizing that fight and the way it's going to execute itself, all went out the window in 30 seconds. Because everything you said came crashing down when you got hit with that very first left hook. It buzzed you, it knocked you out of sorts, and it took you the rest of the round to get yourself together, and you performed like Devin in rounds 2 through 6. It's just in round 7, Ryan, he finally found that timing and that opening that he saw in round 1. You were the same, Devin. You were doing the same things. It's just that, this is what I got to do to get that hook. Oh, and once I throw that hook, that right hand is right there available. So rounds 7 through 12, Ryan took over. In round 12, Ryan was just a clown. Hitting you at will, laughing at you, sticking his tongue out, shaking his little butt, clowning you, walking away from you, not bouncing in a boxing stance, but walking away. turning his back, it does something to him mentally, and that's why I say he needs a fight that he can win convincingly. He needs a fight that's gonna bring his confidence back and show the world that Devin the American Dream Haney is back, and then he can go get T.O.
Well, he not going to get killed because you said he was you Big Dre. You said he was a shot fighter before and a broken man, but ultimately he agreed
But what did I
he
just say? He
agreed
needs
to.
something to get his confidence back.
Three.
Well, that's your opinion. From the reports are that he wanted to go right into the Ryan fight, but Ryan wanted to fight another fight, a tune up. So I mean,
Before we
you can say
continue on
what.
that,
Go ahead, Tia.
let's get what Puro got to say, man, because I know he's been patiently waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pearl.
No, no, you
up
good, you
here,
good. I mean, I just
took
stopped by
over
to say what up, bruh. And you guys are cooking, bruh. So, y'all keep cooking, bruh. I mean, I'll
Hey,
chime
man,
in
what
when
you
y'all
got to
done.
say there, bro? Because this is an interesting topic, man. Because I think the question posed was by three was, do you consider that what you say a tune-up fight or a
Yeah,
light?
it's a light touch. It's like y'all looking at Jose Mir as a light touch, or is that gonna be a tough fight for them?
For me, I favor Jose in the fight. So I don't think it's a cherry pick
Speak on it. That's a good.
by
That's
any
I like
means.
that.
But the thing is that Jose, I believe, is on the out. He just lost to Barboza, but Barboza's no slouch.
No, he's
Tio has been
not.
avoiding Barboza for a couple of years now. But Ramirez, like that was his only his second loss. His other loss was to Josh Taylor for undisputed. So, but it's stylistically, it's not a bad fight for Devin. I actually like the fight, even though I favor Ramirez in the fight. It's not like a fight where it's like he'll be overwhelmed. It's a fight where like Jose Ramirez is not a super fast starter, so he won't be like pressed early. So he can get into a groove and see what if he has any lingering effect from the Ryan fight. So I actually think it's a good fight, but I actually do favor Jose slightly above Haney.
Now, with you saying that, do you think? Because I know that's just your opinion,
Yeah, of course.
but it's funny that they did choose Jose Ramirez with a big fight looming with Ryan. Do you feel like because they haven't fully announced it, do you think they might want to reconsider Jose Ramirez, or do you think Devin could get through that fight?
Well, I think he can get through it. I mean, he's skilled, like he didn't become champion at 135 for it wasn't given to him, like he wasn't email champion for a cool minute. I said it for a long time, but no, he earned, his position at 135. So what I'm trying to say is he's a skilled fighter, so he's definitely capable of getting over the hump. But the thing is, it's like coming from that, like a really tough fight where like I don't know if his jaw was broken, but it was definitely really fucked up. Like I wouldn't have chose Jose Ramirez, but it's like I said, it's not a bad fight because like it's a fight that's winnable. And it's a fight
Yeah.
they can learn from. But the thing is like Ryan is not taking an easy touch either. So I was actually on my buddy's panel talking about that. Like, I'm thinking, like usually they don't put you in a fight, especially when they want you to fight a rematch or whatever, a potential fight that you might lose. Like they ain't trying to put you in an easy fight either. But I'm thinking maybe that win, lose, or draw, maybe they're going to fight anyways. So maybe the opponent in this point doesn't matter in that aspect.
That's a good point. Let me ask you this: if you would have chose the opponents, would you maybe have chosen Devin and Pitbull, and then possibly Ryan with another opponent? Do you think do you like Pitbull and Ryan and Jose and Devin?
Well, I like Jose and Devin. Like I said, like definitely for Devin coming off of the the loss with Ryan, I wouldn't have picked Pitbull because of the power and the pressure. Definitely not a power pressure guy. Ramirez does power pressure, but he applies educated pressure. He's not like a super in your face fighter like Pitbull tries to be. So I wouldn't have put him in with Pitbull. For Ryan, in Ryan's sake, actually, it's a very smart fight. I think it's very good matchmaking because even though Pitbull, one of my favorite fighters and a really good fighter, I think stylistically Ryan is just. I think Ryan actually makes it look easy. So if I'm advising Ryan, that's probably why they're picking Pitbull. To be honest, and I'll try to take away nothing from Pitbull. Pitbull is literally one of my favorite fighters, but stylistically, it's just like Ryan's all wrong for Pitbull. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, Ryan's got a jab that's long enough to keep Pitbull at bay. I think he's got enough power
Exactly.
to make sure that Pitbull releases some of that pressure.
You,
Whereas we know that Pitbull's not going to stop coming.
And
So
he has
he's
great
gonna-
defense. He has great defense. Pitbull does too. So
excellent defense.
yeah,
Excellent.
interesting.
he's not, and he's not, like I said, he's relentless. He's not going to stop coming.
Fact.
He's going to get in there and he's going to do what he does. But you're going to need that jab to be working and on point to make him reset more often than not.
Facts.
And I think Ryan might have enough power to do I want to say this, put Pitbull down for a second. I don't think he's got enough to knock him out, but he might have enough power to put him on his pockets or make him take a knee.
And when you're saying, but my bad, Big Dre, did you say, do you think Pitbull has enough power to do that to Ryan?
No, he said Ryan have enough.
Oh, yeah, I
to do.
think if you're talking about Ryan, I think that's for sure. I think Ryan has enough power to hurt and potentially stop Pitbull. I just think that with his, is he going to have the distance? And you know what I'm saying, in order to get those shots off. So if Pitbull stays at distance, I think Ryan is going to clean him up. If he can crowd Ryan, I think he can make it interesting, but I don't see it going 12 rounds.
Me neither.
So
Nah, I don't see that going 12 rounds.
But that's the thing about Ryan. He's very immature, and he's very it's just like he hasn't got to that just in the Tank fight. In the Tank fight, I thought he was having a lot of success early, but it was just like a lot of sloppy success. And Tank knew, I think Tank knew exactly what the game plan was going to be, and he played him to a T. You know, and even though a lot of people say Ryan quit in that fight, shout out to Ryan. Ryan's got a fucking hell of a chin because literally he hit him with a fucking great shot and he got up and he kept, obviously that kind of put the fight on his head. Like Ryan wasn't fighting as aggressive, but Ryan fought a very, very dumb fight against Tank.
Okay, and we brought this up earlier too. Let me ask you this: do you think Ryan, would you consider that quitting? What happened? What he did at the end of the fight?
Well, he said he quit, so if he says
Okay.
he quit, then there it is.
Okay.
He might have his reasons, whatever. At the end of the day, the ones that really suffer with the quitting is the fighter himself, because the fans are always gonna. You'll find a fan to defend any fighter. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
Amongst each other, those are the ones that quitting's usually what the fighter doesn't want to do.
And my whole thing, what I was bringing it up is, I just want to hear your perspective. And I never heard that Ryan said that, but that's good that he's being honest, because when you think about it, we see fighters all the time get up from getting hurt, or beating counts. We've also seen fighters clinch and hold to survive situations. So he didn't do any of that. So for him to admit that, that ends it right there. He definitely did
Yeah,
quit.
he didn't say it in those words like I quit, but he said that he could have continued. To me,
Yeah,
it's the
no
same,
question.
At the end
No
of the day,
question.
it is what it is.
He had an uphill battle when he signed the contract. So
Yeah.
at that point in the fight, it was definitely, he was definitely going to be fighting for his life, especially if he was going to be favoring his rib at that point.
Yeah, and he wasn't making no adjustments. He just wasn't fighting any smarter from when he went down.
Yeah,
So
no
He really
question.
wasn't. He really wasn't. That's a good point.
my pride. The
Second
dad had depression.
out.
My man was sleeping and now he's back up. Go on and tell
And
us
you know,
something.
ultimately,
He a good buck.
as a fight fan, I'm glad he did what he did, because ultimately he was able to save his career and kind of get back to a level where we still want to see him. Because I know it's a lot of times, when I'm watching boxing, I kind of get upset if like a referee or corner, not stopping a fight when they know a guy's, he's outmatched. So it's
Yeah.
like when a female or a guy, they getting beat for 3 or 4 rounds, for no reason. I thought I just want to mention this real quick. One of the good example of that was the Fury Chisora fight. And Fury was just beating on Chisora, but Chisora had so much heart, and it was got to the 10th round. I don't know if Fury stopped the fight or they just all just kind of came to a conclusion that all right, this shit is done. Like we don't need these guys taking. And then look, ultimately, Chisora still then got 3 or 4 different fights after that, and I thought he was going to be done after the Fury fight. I don't know if y'all remember that Fury Chisora fight, but I thought he was going to be done after that fight.
Yeah, and then he
All
just
right.
beat Joe Joyce. So,
See,
Go ahead,
exactly.
BBO. Go ahead,
Yeah,
BBO.
you just be done. Yeah,
Yeah, let's
I'll
leave
say
him to say something.
no. Go ahead. I'll just say he beat Joe Joyce. Go ahead.
he did.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, as the old man would say, burning desires. That's all.
Good for
Then
him
he
too,
was-
man. It's like his biggest win. You know,
yeah,
he's had
Go
some hard
ahead.
enough wins. He's had some hard enough wins.
I'm gonna say something afterward.
Go ahead.
Dre, you was about to say something, Dre? Because I was gonna say something after you was done. Because he said
No,
he
I
won.
was just reminding Sleeping Beauty that he woke up.
Oh yeah. Hey,
He said that he woke up.
shout out to my man Cleveland's very own CVO's finest.
That brother said sleeping.
You gonna lose your wrench again, bruh.
But I want to piggyback off of what Puro said. I thought that Puro said it perfectly. I mean, I don't see Ramirez as a light touch, but I also don't see it as the biggest and best fight. See, and that's the one thing that you got to be careful when you put stuff out there. People can hold you to it. That's why I don't care what weight Devin goes up to. Tank said he was gonna fight him, so I want the fight. So if Devin's at 147, then you got to take your butt to 147 or make a catch weight to
No,
get to
I'm in
that.
agreement.
Tank
I'm in
can
agreement.
fight him at 147, roll up there at 142 pounds. and
Exactly. I don't see a problem with it. I'm not one of those Tank supporters. Go ahead.
Like I said, Tank can roll in there at 142 pounds and knock him the funk out.
And I would expect that too, because he had came out of his mouth and said so. So I don't think that this is a light touch. I do think that it does not coincide with the biggest and best fights, but it's still a great fight for him to come back. And it's one that it is dangerous, as Piro said. It's not a fight that he probably would recommend him taking off for suffering a loss like that. And particularly, as Big Ray said, the way he carried himself for a couple of days before, quote unquote, my man got spoken to by God and got revealed that Ryan was a cheat. So that stuff aside, Ryan fight with Pitbull, I think, is a real good fight because it's a style clash. It's one that Pitbull has been waiting for the longest because of the animosity between the way that they talked amongst each other when it was supposed to happen a couple years back. And on top of that, I think Pitbull has a lot to prove to people because of the fight with Ryu, who, I thought that there will be a rematch with that, but that didn't take place. I do agree with Piro as far as him being a great. I don't see Pitbull as garbage as most people do. I think that Pitbull also has an abnormally short abdomen and longer arms, and that allows for him to get head to gut coverage. And he's very good with his defense. And I mean, Ryan would definitely have to use his distance, and he would have to use his timing to get a shot on him. And he would have to work the body. That leaves him up top a little bit susceptible. And I mean, that's where your boy Pitbull is going to go. But Pitbull also does go to the body pretty effectively, too. So that has a chance to be a potential, exciting fight. So I think it is. I think that there could be some truth to the fight being, if they both get through that, being made again to fight again. For me, this is for me. If Devin is truly about making the biggest and best fights and not taking tune-ups, then Devin has a championship and reset status that he can always activate. And he can go get it. And I think truly that's why he doesn't want to go 247, because I don't think he want to get in that ring with Puello. Because Puello would be a difficult matchup for him because he's a bigger fighter and he's a technically sound fighter. And he doesn't make very many mistakes. And that'd be one that he probably would have to work really hard to do. But that would be, for me, ultimately, if I'm about making the biggest and best fights and I'm not looking for no tune-ups, then I will go get my belt back. and then I would press the heck
Why
out of T.
not T Hill? Why not become a 3 division champion and fight Barrios? That's the one. Mauricio need to allow him to activate his champion status to fight the 147 champ. He said he done with 140.
I mean, he hasn't done anything at 140 though. To be honest, he barely got
He
there.
beat. I mean, he beat Regis, and then ultimately he fought the most dangerous. He fought the most dangerous guy at 140. He gave him an opportunity to be a champion, but of course he cheated. You know, he cheated the weight, so he couldn't fight for the belt. But
He's not the most dangerous, in my opinion, though.
At
Definitely.
140?
I mean, who's knocking? Who's more dangerous than Ryan at 140? Who would you say?
Man,
T.O.
the way you put that 100 on 10 when it comes to Devin, my God, man. Sheesh.
Hold on. I think you about to get a smile on your face. Who did you say, Puddle?
T.O.
T.O.'s the most dangerous at
Well, I
140.
mean, T.O. beat the
Yeah, but
the
what
man
about?
there.
But
You know, like Puello's
but
there is
Teal
very
lost to
dangerous
Sandor
there.
Martin though.
No, he didn't.
He got clipped. He was getting clipped off the back foot by Sandor. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think that's. I don't think. I mean, we seen Ryan and retire Luke Campbell with a body shot. I don't think. I don't think Teal's more dangerous than Ryan.
So wait. Hold on, Pure.
I
You
think
said
I think Tio get beat up by George Kambosos at 35.
I think Ryan stops Teal.
you
I
said
can see that's a possibility. That's a possibility, but
Cambosis?
what happened, brother?
No. Somebody said somebody gets beat by Cambosis. I didn't
Oh,
clearly hear.
Teal lost to
We've
Campbell.
seen Tio get beat by Kambosos.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be one who speaks on Tio's behalf and say that wasn't Tio Fimo in that dang ring that night.
It was.
No,
It was.
I'm standing by that. And I believe that they fought 10 times out of 10. He got his 9. He got his one fight that he would win. I don't think he would beat Tio 9 more times. No more times out of the other 9 fights.
I can't say that because what Teal showed up against Steve Claggett.
The one that
I mean,
that one
that was like
the one that skunked him.
That was like a 8-4. I mean, that was an ugly fight. He was getting touched. He was all knotted up. I mean, we can't act like
Curl. Don't forget what you were about to say because we're coming back to you. But you believe he won 4 rounds, bro? You believe
very possible. I can go back and I have to go back and watch it again, but very possible. He was getting. I mean, if Tio's face didn't tell the story,
his face definitely.
are we gonna say that was just Tio's gloves? You know how every time somebody get a bruise on their face, they say it was their gloves.
They don't puff eyes up. They scar.
Right.
They give you red. No, he got popped. But
that's what I'm saying. He gets touched on a lot, so I can't just say the Kambosos would only beat him 1 out of 100 times. I don't know. I mean, Tio. No, we talking about Tio. We seen Tio have bad performances against Jermaine Ortiz. We seen Tio lose the Kambosos. He had a bad performance against Sandor Martin. I mean, we seen him beat a Lomachenko and a Josh Taylor that was out of the ring for 16 months, and he's more athletic than those guys. But ultimately, I can't say he'll beat Ryan though. I just can't see it.
You know what's so funny, man?
Go ahead.
To hear you talk about him the way you do, man, it's almost like I almost want to say, y'all want some privacy, man? Because, like, you talk about, like, bias, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, my God, dude. Did you even hear what you just said? Like, I almost want to say, man, you guys need to
I just don't see your 5'6" home. I mean, I don't see him. He's a little guy. I mean, compared to Ryan, I think Ryan. I don't see him beating Ryan. I'm just gonna be. I think it's a bad style matchup.
I haven't really seen, honestly, other than Tank, man. Ryan really, his best win is against Oscar Delarme, whatever the guy's name was. That's his best win.
Nah, he's
I mean, what power puncher? I thought y'all was talking all that age, size, and so all that same age, same size, all that. What power puncher has Tio fought like Ryan, or just power puncher in general?
I don't know.
I don't think he's fought a power puncher. He's always fought guys that come forward. I mean, I'm gonna put like this, man. This is what I'm gonna say. You can dress it up how you want it, with Devin, with Tio, with any of these guys. The one thing that is missing, you do see Ryan fighting guys of his of his age and contemporaries, man. He's fighting the guys his age, man. It's a sad thing that he might be the only one that fights everybody.
Devin's starting to get there, especially if he rematches Ryan and he fights some other fight.
Yeah, but him fighting Ryan again is really not a smart idea because Ryan's gonna beat him, man.
I mean, more than likely, but I mean, like nothing's for certain, bro. Like Sriracha everybody thought was a,
I think that Ryan is Devin's Vernon Forster for Sugar Ray.
That brother tired. He said Vernon Forster.
What's that? My bad. I don't know. I am tired. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I understand
that sounds good, but they only fought once. Go ahead.
Who, Forrest and Shane?
No, I'm talking about Ryan and Devin. They've only fought once. That sounds
But
all good.
no, they fought like 5 times, man.
I'm talking about in the pro.
All together.
In the professional ring.
They fought 7 times. As a professional, only once.
Only one.
But they fought 6 times in the amateurs, and they split 3-3.
And nobody talks about that fight that they fought where Ryan won. They overturned it, whatever. They both fought like shit. I'm gonna keep it a buck. They both fought very poorly.
Please talk, bro.
Very, very poorly.
Come on, talk.
What'd you say, brother?
I said, come on, talk. Tell it, dog.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was saying that through when I was watching them with my buddy Mark. Like literally, like, bro, they both fought really, really poorly, bro. Like the fight, other than the knockdowns, was not a good fight, in my opinion.
I absolutely agree. Now, before we go anywhere and transition anywhere else, you were about to say something. Can you go back to that thought, or did you forget it?
About what? Who was I opining on?
You were about to. I think we were talking about the possible matchups, and then I went and said something, and then you were about to say something. I was talking about.
I think I was talking about Devin and like him possibly like moving up to another weight class because like to me like he only had that once against like me personally. I would like to see him fight. Maybe unify, fight the other top contenders in the division. It's his career ultimately, but like I would rather have him stay, defend. Anyway, but it's gonna do it.
40.
Yeah, 40.
At 40. And at 40.
Get there. I mean, now you're just doing what Shakur doing. Come on, man, let's go.
Okay, I feel you. And to be clear, at 40, T.O. is the man for you.
I think so. I think I think it's clear.
So he should definitely activate his championship status, get that belt, and then go at T.O. That's what you saying.
I mean, in a perfect world, of course. I mean, they were supposed to fight at 135, bro, but Kambosos fucked that up.
That's what I'm saying. But these guys is on the PBC island like a Puello and a Barrios. So if he can't get a big name like a decent good name like Barrios, I mean, come on, the Puello fight. I mean, are they going to even make the Puello Sandor Martin fight? Ain't no money in these dudes.
I think they made it already.
All right, well, I would like an announcement.
No, I think it's already announced. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but hey, they Rayo and what's his name? Are getting
Gary
down.
Antoine.
Gary Antoine. That's a good fight. That's a really good fight.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
you're
one,
saying that the champion in recess cannot make the fight for his belt.
What I'm saying is that I don't know what you can do with it because I mean this dude KO tried to tell me that Devin couldn't get Barrios. So I don't know. I mean, if he can as a champion recess, he's supposed to be able to activate a mandatory status for the champion above as well. So the Barrios will be the better fight.
He can he can petition for it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
How the champion in recess works, to be honest.
No, I thought you had to hold the belt for you to do that.
You have to hold the belt, yeah, and it's also it's supposed to like literally like it's like for the WBC, it's the franchise belt that affords you that luxury. Like literally, I don't think they would want to take that. Like they fucking talk shit about the franchise belt for like what, a couple of years. I don't think they would take that opportunity. But no, champion of recess is for the division that you were champion in, and that only gives you the right to fight the
not what they're ruling. The ruling Mauricio had came out and already said it that they would allow Devin to request a fight for his belt back, the champion above and the champion below. Like you said, he could petition. He could petition, but like you saying, that doesn't mean it's going to be granted because it's politics involved. And obviously, I mean, I don't know. Barrios is like one of these untouchable guys. He only fights, older PBC guys that they want to make become a champion before they retire.
Yeah, but Devin Haney's never been a champion at 147 too. So like Mauricio, he talks a lot of shit too. But at the end of the day, Mauricio's gonna do what he wants. It's his organization. Like literally, he breaks his rules all the time. He breaks the rules all the time.
Hopefully he gets in good with him then, man, because I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Barrios. I don't believe that's a light touch.
Not if it's a light
I
touch.
think-
It's a very winnable fight, to be honest.
No, I think that would be the better comeback fight, especially because I can't overlook Angel Fierro versus Pitbull Cruz. So Pitbull still got to get through that fight.
Yeah,
But
Angel Fierro's a very good fighter.
me personally, I think somebody Barrio should be in this mix. Especially if they're gonna be entertaining 147. But that's what I'm saying. I think they trying to stay around that 144 catch weight because they don't want to put themselves in the limelight or put themselves in a situation where they getting called out by these 147 guys. At least for a year. I think they want to stay in that range where they can still have the most interest on the rematch.
For me, I don't think they care about that. Like if anybody calls them out or anything like that, I don't think they're on that time.
Well, I'm just saying but that's what I'm saying. If you like, for instance, if Devin doesn't look if he doesn't look strong, you know what I'm saying? If he doesn't look like he's gonna give Ryan a good test, then if they fighting at 147, people are gonna want to see Boots versus Ryan. They're not gonna want to see Devin versus Ryan. I'm just talking about I think it's smart for them to keep it at a catch weight is because it keeps the interest just focused on them in their little and you know what I'm saying, in that kind of little
I get what you're
catch
saying.
weight tournament
I get what you're saying.
versus because ultimately Devin might not look his best, Ryan might not look their best, but if they agreed to sign up for the fight and they both win, we supposedly supposed to still be getting a rematch. But I
Supposedly
think
it's a trilogy. It's supposed to be for 2 fights. It's not supposed to be
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of variables to play,
Yeah,
bro. Like
exactly.
that don't
No,
even
for sure.
it's and like you saying, and this one people like, some people even think they ducking. It's like y'all want to see Devin at 140. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer him to fight Josh Taylor or Barrios, in a comeback fight and then fight Ryan. But it is what it is. We getting Ramirez. I think Ramirez is a decent fighter, but I think he's a little past his prime.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think they're seeing that too. I don't know. At the end of the day, like whether it's a good idea that they picked them or not, it's a really good fight, and I'm looking forward to it if it actually gets done.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a good fight. Indeed.
I had something else for you, Tia, but I forgot.
I mean, ultimately, I just want to see him back in the ring, bro.
Oh yeah. I
Kevin?
wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you about. I think Turkey had put it out that he wanted to make the Tank versus Inoue fight. I think I had seen something about that. Do you think that's a better route for Tank to kind of look at the lower weight guys coming up versus like looking at a T.O. or Ryan above? Would you prefer to see that as a fan?
It's a good fight if it was plausible. Well, go ahead, my bad.
Yeah.
No, go on, continue to cook. I'll answer afterwards.
Yeah. I would say if it was more plausible, like if he was like more closer to 135, yeah, for sure. But me personally, like if Tank can fight like T.O. or the other fighters that he hasn't fought yet that we all want him to fight, Bud versus Tank is very intriguing to me. Like it's very intriguing. Like I wish they would like actually fight, but T.O. Excuse me, Bud's trying to fight Canelo, so
Well, this is what I'm gonna say to that is this, and I agree with you. I think it's entertaining. I think I want to see Tank challenge himself. But if we being realistic, a lot of these smaller guys that's moving up from 122, 126, they are right around Tank's size. Maybe Tank could get possibly a little bit heavier than his stature may suggest. But I do think that they're looking at it from a perspective of a Mario Barrios. That was a decent test for Tank. And Mario Barrios is not at the highest of levels of boxing. He's a good fighter, but that was a tougher test for a pound for pound fighter like Tank. So I think they don't want to go up and wait and fight guys at a bigger size because it's going to be a tougher test. So I think we could possibly get some exciting fights if Tank were to mess around with like maybe possibly some 130 pounders or 126 guys moving up.
I
Even
mean,
like
there's
a
smoke at
Figueroa.
135 though. B3. There's
Nobody wants
smoke
to
at 135, brother. But go ahead.
look at all of the flack
Yeah.
Tank is getting for fighting Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach campaigns at 130, but he's fought more fights above 130 pounds because competitors come in and miss weight. So the fight is listed above 130 pounds. But Lamont is not a little guy. You know, on fight night, even though Lamont campaigns at 130, he gonna be bigger than Tank. He gonna weigh more than that 140 pounds that Tank posted on his Instagram. So
I think he'd be taller. I don't know about. I don't think he's gonna be physically stronger than Tank.
I didn't
But
never say it's stronger.
right, I mean,
Never
just
said stronger. I said he's gonna be
this.
bigger. He's gonna weigh more, and he's gonna be taller. Okay.
Big
He's
Dre, I
gonna.
think they're gonna give your boy the benefit of the doubt based on the skills. That's all I just want to throw in there right there. The skill set of these younger guys, these guys like Nakatani and Bam and Inoue coming up, stopping all these guys through weight classes. If they continue to do these things through 122 and 126 and 130, and Tank is still active or still, available to fight these guys, I think those are gonna be bigger fights, or I think those will be acceptable from the fans just based on the fact that these guys are moving through weight classes like a Pacquiao did.
Yeah, but look at where they.
And that's a big if, but
I mean, look at where Inoue started. Then he started like 108.
Something like that.
yeah,
You know,
Something like
and
that.
he now fighting at 122.
yeah. But these guys are cutting a lot of weight, and Pac-Man is a all-time A division champion, all-time great Hall of Famer, and he was getting stopped at some of these lower weight classes.
Yeah, at 108 and shit, you got stopped a couple times.
Yeah, so we talking about a Hall of Famer in Naoya anyway, and a pound for pound guy like Junto, a pound for pound guy like Bam. I don't see, man, and like y'all know I'm saying this correctly. Tank has a little bit more size and mass, but height wise, stature, like a Junto is taller. Than Junto is like 5'8". Bam and I think Bam and Tank is like the same height.
I think
So
Bam's taller than
Yeah.
Tank.
But
so
y'all,
you
go ahead.
But no, go ahead. I'm just saying. I just think those are the more intriguing matchups. Y'all, I don't know what y'all think. I mean, because people are just saying that these guys is too big for Tank, and as Shakur was saying that Devin going to 147, that's too big for him now. He not thinking about the fight no more. So I'm just like, it's kind of weird. I'm just like, well, these guys, they need to just fight the little guys then.
No, they just need to fight like who's there, like literally like Tank. There's smoke for Tank there, like literally like Morataya,
Okay.
Zepeda. Like literally
Yeah.
anybody in the top 10, there's smoke for Tank. I'm not saying that
Mhm.
Tank would lose. I'm not saying they would win every single fight, but there's there's smoke there. He doesn't have to like fighting Devin or fight Shakur ain't the end all be all for me. Like I don't know why people like to put just certain fighters for certain fighters. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Tank just fight like everybody, bro. Like people respect it. Trust me.
And let me ask you, do you think those would do good numbers on Muay fight? I think they would. A Muay
Yes,
Thai
I
or a
think they would.
Zepeda fight.
No, I think they would do excellent numbers. One, because they would be excellent fights, but two, it'll be a change of pace. It'll like literally like their top rank and PBC like
Open
that shit don't
motions.
happen. That shit don't happen. People
Yeah.
will two-lane just for that. Like, oh my god, like two companies from like other sides of the street actually gonna fight. That's more of a casual take on it, but people will like actually like be intrigued because of that.
That's another point. Plus you got Tank Davis, one of the biggest stars.
Yeah, and like one of the
So,
best boxers in the world. Like, don't get me wrong, like because I'm a Tank Davis fan. Like everybody knows that. I'm Tank and Ryan fan currently. But like literally, I'm disappointed, in his lack of opposition. But at the end of the day, it doesn't take away that like he's literally like on boxing skill wise and power and everything in every aspect, like one of the best in the sport.
Well, you know,
Nah, I'm in agreement.
people want to discount Tank, saying that he hasn't fought anybody. You know, look at the former champions that he's fought. Look at the number of people who became a champion after he fought him. And we're talking, you know, within 2 or 3 fights. Pitbull, you know.
Come on, Big Dre. You really gonna run through the WBA belt situation at 140? Come on.
No, I'm just saying.
But no, but Barrios definitely he got his belt, but he didn't beat a champ in the ring. He didn't beat a champ in the ring, no.
Who did it?
Barrios.
Oh, Barrios, no.
Yeah.
But still,
But I mean, and that 140 Barrios, that Barbosa, the old man Barbosa.
Wait a minute, B3, weren't you the one a few minutes ago who said that you know the Barrios fight was the one you thought Tank was going to lose?
No, that was BVO, but I never said that. That was BVO, but
no, who? Okay, well, somebody, because I was
the one that said I was the one that said Akhmedov had Barrios' eyes all swollen, and I thought Akhmedov had won that fight to win the regular, but that was the fight right before Tank had cleaned him up.
Well, at any rate, Barrios was a champion at 40 when Tank fought him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, gift decision.
It was Reggie, but yeah, it was
a gift decision.
You know, the world championship belt is a world championship belt. Okay,
it's right. But it's Josh. Who is Josh Taylor then? If you're gonna say that, Big Dre,
it's an automatic win when you step in the ring and you beat the person that holds it. It's an automatic. That super belt is a designation.
Yep.
Now, can I ask you this, Big J? You've been around longer than me. If you don't beat a champ in the ring, correct me if I'm wrong, don't they call you a title holder or a belt holder until you defend your belt?
Yes, until you defend you can win a champion, you can win a belt in the ring, but until you defend that belt, you're just a title holder.
Okay, so that's why he wasn't the champion, because his very next fight he fought Tank and he got stopped, lost his belt. And then he still never fought a champion in the wing or in the ring. He got elevated with an interim, and then ultimately he got a draw with Abel. I mean, I guess he defended his belt now, but I mean, it's just you know, I mean, we just keeping it a cold stack. I know we parsing hairs here. You know, he's fighting at the top level, but.
You know,
you trying to boost Tank for something that his opponents did after the fact. I'm like, what were they? Who did he have to fight at that time that he fought these guys? Okay. Like, why he's a champion at 135, a champion at 130, and then he fights a dude that barely beat Akhmedov. You know what I'm saying? 140, like when you got Josh Taylor there, and you was just popping off at the mouth about Josh Taylor. I mean, we want to see the best fight the best. We don't. I mean, we understand you picked off somebody that grew to be 5'11". We know that he started at 122. I mean,
who?
Barrios.
Oh, Barrios.
Yeah, but
so I mean, I'm not. But Barrios is definitely one of the top guys, though. I'm not gonna say he's not, but Tank is ultimately Hall of Fame level.
You know.
All right, I want to go that far. I like Tank too, but
let's talk about
putting 100 on 10, bro.
Let's talk about champions in the ring. Wasn't Leo Santa Cruz a 4-division world champion?
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. And he was also a number 4 in the pound for pound list.
Okay. 4 divisions, world champion in the ring at 130 pounds. Tank reached in and turned the light switch off.
The last 4-division champion that got knocked out like that, Big Dre, was Roy Jones.
Roy Jones was a very great fighter.
Yeah, and that was the last 4 or 5 division champion that got knocked out like that.
Yes, and
now Manny Pacquiao got knocked out like that.
Marquez, no question. Marquez, yeah.
When you consider Roy Jones one of the best fighters ever,
yes,
would he be on your all-time list?
Definitely. But Big Dre got to keep it a stack. Al does a good job with the PBC of moving and finessing with the WBA. So Leo Santa Cruz, a lot of those guys, you know, Rolly is a 2-time champion now. You know what I'm saying? Barrios is a 2-time champion. You know what I'm saying? Now Leo Santa Cruz is a 4-time champion.
Yeah, we can't compare them though. We can't compare Leo to those dudes. Like Leo, like put in the work. Like
Leo did put in some work. He
lost to an undefeated fighter and then went back to his hometown and whooped his ass.
But he also out, and I don't know, and y'all will correct me if I'm wrong on the particulars, but he also never fought Gary Russell.
Okay, he didn't fight Gary Russell. Okay,
that's a little asterisk. Gotta be.
Everybody's not gonna fight everybody.
Yeah, sometimes it don't happen.
You know,
Aaron Hawk didn't fight. Aaron Hawk Pryor didn't fight Sugar Ray. You know, it should have happened, but it didn't.
How many times at 135 did Devin the American Dream Haney yell, scream, and holler Gervonta Tank Davis' name? Tank. We want to fight Tank. But you know something? There was something very, very peculiar about the way he called him out. He called him out every time one of them already is contracted to fight.
Wouldn't be boxing if they didn't, man.
Yeah, I mean, but Big Dre, you act like you can't negotiate with it while you got to fight. A lot of guys have a fight and then negotiate another fight. Why has Tank never sent Devin a contract?
Man, we can talk about that next time on BBO Boxing. Because that's the never-ending conversations, man. But appreciate everybody pulling up, man. BBO's about to hit the BED, man. I'm not a night owl, man. Shout out to all the night owls, man. But BBO's not one. And we see you tomorrow, man. Go ahead.
He woke up and decided he didn't want to, and took his phone off on mute because he didn't want to be snoring on the air like he was a couple weeks ago.
It had something to do with other folks around him. I'm gonna go to bed.
Oh, we getting better. We getting better though, man. On that note, peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching BVO. And if you're down with BVO, subscribe and join the community. Have a great night.